Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third game of um, Chronicles of Hogwarts. I am really pumped for today because today we have a new player. I don't believe you are connected to Roll20 currently, Nikolai.
I'm going to reload because I am connected.
Here you are. Oh,
Right,
wait, no,
so it
you
dropped
oh,
me at some point.
you were here the entire time. It's Dane who wasn't connected. Okay, so we're all here. Dane, we have all. If you want to activate your camera, we can get started. So, um, real quick, the our new player is. Would you like to introduce yourself to the group and talk a bit about your character, please?
Right, so my name is Nikolai. I am from Austria. It's currently 11 p.m. I think is the right time. Yeah, it's quite late for me. And my character is Lycos Fankari. He's a cursed one, and I'm he's male, white, he has shabby robes, and he is a Hufflepuff. And that's pretty much all I'm going to tell you for now. The rest you'll have to find out in the game.
All right. Um,
We got like a
couple.
Hufflepuff apocalypse up in here.
Yeah, like there was no Hufflepuff representation in the entire books, and now we're compensating. And
Yeah.
You know, everyone likes the underdogs.
I need to start pumping up the queer representation as well. Um, okay, so t- 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 um, I'd like to suggest something for the reason your character hasn't been present so far. Could it be that you were recovering in St. Mungo's and that's why you haven't been able to be here for the first couple of months?
It could also be that I'm a transfer student from another country.
Oh, that could be interesting, but from what I've read, transfers only happened towards the later years, and they only last for 1 or 2 years, or just a couple of months. From what we know, because one of the Weasleys had a pen pal who wanted him to come over to that school and send a curse when he refused. Um, so.
Alright. Then I guess it's just an unlucky incident happened with my curse just
Mhm.
before we went to school. And I had to go to St. Mungo's to train.
Um,
Does that seem alright?
Yeah, it seems all right that like you to justify it. I think your character would have been sorted into Hufflepuff into during like a bit of a more um I don't know if it would have been done like in the Great Hall publicly or in a more discreet manner, so that you wouldn't have like everyone in the school watching you while you're doing this very late. I think it's probably yeah you're going to be introduced at the beginning of this um, game session. We can say that over. We should take care of your camaraderie now, because we have to. You have connections to the other player characters, and that would mean that that either it's already happened a little bit since the short amount of time that you've been in the school, or it's going to develop on more like as we role play. But we need to have those those points of camaraderie uh, given to different player characters. So you have three camaraderie options for the cursed. What let's see. Let me have a look at okay. So the first one is you've helped someone understand their own darkness and you take 2 camaraderie with them. Someone knows about your curse and that doesn't judge you for it. You both get 1 camaraderie with each other. And someone has helped you learn about a new aspect of your curse. You give them 2 camaraderie. So I think what we should do is go over the player characters. Let's have a bit of a presentation of what transfer, like someone who's been late to school would know about your characters after a couple of days of getting to know you, joining the gang and all that. Who wants to start? That's always a tricky question to ask.
I'll start. So I have Valeria Carter, who is the Vane playbook. Valeria is a Ravenclaw. I would have said that she was probably a hat stall between Ravenclaw and Slytherin, because the more I played her, I was like, oh, I should have made a Slytherin. But she's a Ravenclaw. Her sort of, I guess, intelligence or cleverness more comes down to the social aspect of skills. So she's all about finding new things out, putting things together. So that is my little Ravenclaw.
All right. And putting things together is going to be important since we now have 5 mysteries based on the players going on, plus mine that is the overarching mystery. So there's going to be a lot of threads to pull on this game. Rowan, do you want to go next?
Yep. So Rowan Reed is kind of more of a typical Ravenclaw, like very because I'm playing the Bookworm playbook. So yeah, I think he was basically more or less straight Ravenclaw, like as soon as the hat touched. So a little bit less, let's say, cunning than.
All right. And afterwards we have Alison.
Yes, Alison Appleby is my character. She is a Hufflepuff. She is from a very old, very established, very rich wizarding family. And the members of her family have been assigned to Hufflepuff for generations, so she's continuing this proud tradition. And she's a very sweet, I wanted to say innocent girl, but she's not that innocent anymore, mostly because of Valeria's influence.
Blame me.
Well, you know. And she's discovering a little bit of her more rebellious side, but she's a good girl, deep at heart, and not very comfortable with what we did last time. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. And Wyndon Moores.
How do you describe a problem like Wyndon? Let's see. Well, Wyndon's a Gryffindor. He's very brave, sometimes a little more bold than he probably should be. He's kind of the troublemaker of the group so far. He means well, but he's not accustomed to having such strict rules, and he kind of grew up with a weird family and hasn't had many dealings with kids. He's the tamer, so his friends have been animals, mostly magical animals. And you will meet his little friends, I'm sure.
All right. So you arrive at the School of Hogwarts, and on like I think it's going to be like a couple of weeks into the first the first semester. You're a first year, and you're sorted into Hufflepuff, but the events of your introduction are sort of shadowed by the fact that you're arriving on the day of the first Quidditch match between Gryffindors and Slytherins. So it's as you're that morning. in the Great Hall, you were introduced to the. You're introduced basically by Headmistress McGonagall, and afterwards, like you're allowed to go to the table of your house. But McGonagall does specify there is the possibility of sitting at the house table of your choosing, and it's a new tradition. A new change to the rules in order to make everyone work together more. But today, almost nobody is sitting at tables different than their own. Today, just before the Quidditch match, it seems that the good old competitiveness between the houses is back into play. But as you make your way to the Hufflepuff table, you are greeted by the other characters who are in Hufflepuff, who I think would be currently trying. A lot of them are deciding. A lot of the Hufflepuffs are deciding who are they going to cheer for this year. Is it going to be the Gryffindors or the Slytherins? So what? I think your character Lycos just happens to sit between, like next to Allison and wait. No, yeah, Allison is the only Hufflepuff. That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
we just had a lot of Hufflepuff NPCs.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where you. Is anybody else sitting with Allison at the moment?
No.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember who was nice to Wyndon last go. There was someone who was sticking up for him, but it definitely wasn't Rowan.
I helped you.
Nah. Who was that? Was that Allison or was that
I think Valeria helped you.
Helped you with what?
Yeah.
We had adventures in the library.
Yeah, Valeria was the one sticking up. So no, he's not with
Okay. All right. So yeah, Allison. Allison. Would Allison be sitting close to Moira at all?
I think so, because Alison wanted to make friends with her last time, because she feels guilty about the whole book business.
All right. So
she's trying to make it up to her by accepting her into her close social circle, and thus elevating her social status.
It seems to be. It seems that you're having a little bit of trouble doing that, since currently there is a gap between the both of you and everybody else at the Hufflepuff table, who seems to have just happened to sit, 3 seats away, which is why Lycos finds his place next to the two of you, the group of the shunned. Basically. So, Moira, as you sit next to Moira, she's this, dark-haired girl who seems pretty shy, and she tells you, you probably don't want to sit here. Not a lot of. You're going to get a bad reputation if you stick around with me. I'm sorry. And she's telling that to you, Lycos.
Right, so well, it doesn't matter. I'll just sit there anyway.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Lycos.
Nice.
I'm a new student. I'm a bit late.
Nice to meet you. I'm Moira Wright, and this is Alison Appleby. You've heard of the Applebys, I suppose?
I have not. My family is not really that is not really that much under the thing. They're pretty far out. They're not really connected to civilization as much.
Well, don't worry. You'll soon hear everything about the Applebee's. All right. Now that we know the characters a little bit more, real quick, let's take care of attributing your camaraderie. So, do you see the three options that are for your playbook?
Yes, I see them.
Okay. So which can you choose one player for each of one player character for each of them? Based on what they've told you about themselves.
You can see that with Allison.
The first one? Okay, basically each sentence that gets you to take camaraderie or give camaraderie with someone should be attributed to someone different. So the first sentence is you've helped someone understand their own darkness. You take 2 camaraderie with them. So in the next, like, how would you? Is there any character that you think you'd help understand their own darkness? Like or are any of you? Do any of you think that a cursed character could help you out with that at all?
Well, the thing is, like, the introduction. So it's one thing if we might already know each other, but if they like just showed up, and it makes the whole thing harder. Like maybe they've been here since the beginning, since that's generally, if you arrive late, generally you're not allowed in.
Maybe he was in the infirmary for a couple days.
Yeah.
We just haven't seen him.
I suppose that would work a little bit better. Would you be okay with that, Nikolai?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool.
That does a lot more sense.
Okay, yeah. I forgot about the whole if you arrive late you're not allowed in thing. Okay, sure. So your characters have like gotten to know each other a little bit in the background. So yeah, who would you have helped understand their own darkness?
I would need to know a little bit more about the other player.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So
Wyndon doesn't have any darkness. I'll tell you that right now.
Really? Are we sure about that?
Who is the one that cursed me?
I mean, he did curse you. It was more of a hex, really, and he did kick you in the shin, but you had it coming in all fairness.
So Valeria's darkness seems to be more about spreading rumors and not always being the nicest person.
I get results.
Yes.
That's not being nice. I'm a nice person.
So everyone has been a nice person so far. Okay, so in terms of darkness, like Rowan and Wyndon have had a bit of a grudge going against each other, and Wyndon does have creatures in the school that he's not supposed to. So I think he could fit, because he's the tamer and he knows a lot about supernatural creatures, he could fit with the third option. Someone's helped you learn a new aspect of your curse, or it could be someone else. And Allison has a dark past for her family, but Allison herself doesn't seem to have a lot of dark side so far. She plays really well into the Hufflepuff tropes.
I believe Allison would be best for the second option.
I'm happy to be a trash person. Like if you need a person to take that first option, Valeria might be it. But let's hear your other questions.
The other option is someone knows about your curse and doesn't judge you for it. you both get 1 camaraderie with each other. So you could have opened up to Allison, and
It does. It
I
does
believe
make
Alison
sense for
just
Alison,
caught
yes.
onto something happening with my curse, and with me going to the infirmary every now and
okay.
Honestly, I would say it's the only of the 3 options that would work for Alison at all, because the other 2 are not her thing really.
All right.
So if you want to use Alison, I think it would be the second option would be the best.
Let's do this. So you both get camaraderie, if that's fine with you, Nikolai. Okay.
Yes.
Then you both get 1 point of camaraderie with each other. Your third option is someone's helped you learn about a new aspect of your curse. Do any of you feel like that would fit with your character?
Could
Sounds
you
like
repeat
Rowan
that?
or Wyndon.
I don't know if Rowan would have like a curse though. Actually, no. If I was helping you with a curse, maybe it would be Rowan.
Yeah, you because you're the bookworm, you know a lot of things, and you might have mentioned something about about a curse at some point without necessarily him telling you what it is. But there could be this like yeah, he had this like light bulb moment with this. What do you think, Nikolai?
That sounds good.
Okay.
It would take a bit of figuring out what exactly that thing is, but it sounds like the best thing we have available.
Okay. So you give Rowan, you have 2 camaraderie with Lycos, and for the first option, is it going to be Valeria or Wyndon?
I keep forgetting what they are.
Oh, the first option is someone's helped you understand. You've helped someone understand their own darkness.
So which
Yeah.
one of those 2 has actually something dark about them?
I mean, I kick people. I hide animals from the staff. I mean,
In the shin, that's
I
dark.
save a cat, so
And Valeria's manipulative.
yeah, Valeria is probably the way to go here.
Okay. So Valeria, how would Lycos possibly have helped you understand your darkness a bit better? Maybe you were spreading a rumor about someone being cursed in some way, and he called you out for it, or something of this sort.
Yeah, we can go with that. I guess it's not widely known that Lycos is cursed.
It wouldn't be. I think your characters might have some inkling as to that, but outside of your friend circle, it wouldn't be known.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I'm happy to like spread some rumor, but like, oh my god, did you hear that like Sandy in Slytherin is completely cursed? You know, like that's not what curses look like. No. What do you think?
Yeah, that's good work. That's good work, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, what kind of curse do you have exactly?
Do you
Right?
did you want to tell the players? Are you okay with that?
Right, that's something that only Alison is going to know. And that is that I have lycanthropy.
Yeah.
That is because Alison caught me sneaking out at full moons to the infirmary.
If Wyndon ever finds out, he's gonna have some complicated feelings about this issue.
Yeah.
Your best friend.
We have followed the Harry Potter tradition of naming your character Wolf in another language when they're a werewolf after.
Yeah, my character's name is Wolf Moon in Greek.
Solid.
So yeah,
You have to be on the nose about it.
Exactly. Like your parents had to be like, Is he going to grow up to be a Ministry of Magic? No, we're gonna call him Wolf and hope that this turns out okay. Okay.
Did I take camaraderie with Lycos, or did Lycos take camaraderie with me?
Oh, you take Lycos. You take 2 camaraderie with Valeria. So basically, yeah. Do you see where the camaraderie option is on your character sheet?
It's relationships.
Yep,
Yes, I
you got
filled
it.
it out.
You filled it out perfectly. Okay. Good. So, what is everyone doing on this day, on this glorious day of the first match between the 2 most competitive houses?
I think we established last time that I had come up with a very good cheer that would please the staff, and yeah, I think that's what he was up to. He's got some sort of like rhyme that's borderline offensive to the other team.
Okay. Yeah. I love it. So you're ready. Like you've prepared a song. You're ready for this. Are you rehearsing with the other Gryffindors, like to the side? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. What is Valeria doing?
So this is the perfect time for new juicy tidbits and / to spread more rumors. So she's definitely going to the match.
Okay. Yeah, you're out there. Like there's a lot of interest into in the new Quidditch teams because some of the old beaters. One of them died, and the other one is now 18 years old, so he can't be in the school anymore. Wait, no, he's a bit. No, they've been gone for years. Anyways, yeah, because some of the people from the teams were hurt during the Battle of Hogwarts, they've had to like mix things up a little bit. So there's that, and like a lot of. A lot of people are interested if this cute Quidditch player is single or not, and what they're if what team they're playing on outside of their own houses.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly some of that. I think there's also some careful observation of different teams for their play styles. I don't think that Valeria would ever play Quidditch, but she'd be a pretty good manager.
Okay, so you have what is Valeria's prediction? Who's gonna win this time?
Oh, I got to give the edge to Slytherin on it. They want more. They're really hungry for it this game.
Okay.
A little slow.
Perfect. All right. Let's name the captain. Let's name the captain for Slytherin. What's Victoria? What's the Slytherin captain's name?
Let's go with let's go with Samantha. Samantha Carpenter.
Okay. Okay. Carfer.
A carpenter, like a worker. Sorry, we didn't enunciate.
It's okay. All right, perfect. So yeah, currently, like while the other Quidditch captain is practicing his victory chants with Dane, Samantha is like going over tactics right now. Okay, perfect. What is Rowan doing?
I think Rowan would be kind of out there with Valeria and kind of just watching the team.
Okay.
Although, yeah, he's definitely betting on Slytherin because, well, most of the good Gryffindors all graduated or are dead.
Exactly.
Okay, that's good. So I seen that the Ravenclaws are playing the long strategy game of like we know what the team's good points and weaknesses are, and we're ready to exploit it for our matches. Okay, what and Alison and Lycos, what are you doing at at the Hufflepuff table?
I think I'm just excited to see my first ever Quidditch game. We couldn't ever afford going to a Quidditch game, so it's gonna be interesting.
Okay. Are I think a lot of the Hufflepuffs have kept on the tradition that's been going on lately of Hufflepuffs supporting Gryffindors, unlike the Ravenclaws who seem to mostly be going to support Slytherin. What is Lycos? Who is Lycos going to be supporting today, if anyone?
I don't think Like is going to support anyone yet.
Okay. And Allison.
Well, I think Alison is socializing with the Hufflepuffs, with mostly the popular Hufflepuffs, and trying her best to bring Moira to the mix also, so she doesn't feel left out. And yes, I think we keep up the tradition that we have been traditionally respect. So I'm all for Gryffindor today.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Yeah. Okay. So Lycos is a half-blood. Okay. Glad we cleared that up. So, you all start. You all finish the hearty meal full of protein that's prepared by the house elves before each match, and you set off towards the towards the Quidditch pitch. Are you going to do anything particular during your during the match? I think Wyndon, you're trying to get a chant up.
Yeah, that's my goal. And it seems like I must have thought of something really great. Originally, I had planned to just just come up with it on the spot, but this is better maybe. I think he stayed up late, and he's he literally spent hours writing this and crumpling up pieces of paper and saying, no, that's not good enough. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty great.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you've got what you're doing during the match on lock. Everybody else, do you have anything that your characters would be doing during the match apart from the usual cheering and observing and
No, I don't think there's anything.
Valeria's taking notes.
Okay.
Valeria's taking notes.
All right. So
playing to try out for the team there, Valeria.
No, it's not that. I mean, God, I'm not nearly good enough a flyer for that. But I wouldn't mind being a manager. I mean, it's not a bad idea. Besides, look at all this. And if we get a betting pool up, I'm definitely winning.
All right, the match kicks off. The players starts buzzing through the air at incredible speeds. The chants start, the cheering starts. It seems like the whole air all around the stadium is filled with this pure energy, this excitement. And a sort of relief, a sort of feeling that everything is back to normal at Hogwarts after all of the horrors that everyone's gone through. We're back to Quidditch. We're back to that eternal tradition. There's just one problem though. Halfway through the match, there's a creature that flies into the twitch and starts to basically it starts to fly around the Hufflepuff stand as if observing it, and some of you recognize the green plumage of a I keep forgetting their names. Wyndon, what's
Augury?
yeah? It's the green plumage of an augury, but it's Wyndon. You immediately recognize with your keen eyes that its wingspans it is much longer than your auguries. It's a larger one, and and after like a few seconds of this, the Gryffindor Seeker slams into the augury, and they both fall to and crash into the Gryffindor stand, where the augury starts to basically attack that poor seeker who's getting like beaked and taloned. So yeah, Wyndon, you're not far from this. What do you do?
After figure out what is going on, he rushes over, thoughtless as ever, and tries to use what he knows about Augures and Horace, his friend, to calm it down.
All right.
He pulls like bugs from his pocket to feed to it, and makes soothing noises and tries to get its attention on him.
Are you doing a dance like Newt does in Fantastic Beasts to calm the creature, but for the augury?
He's straight up dodging this thing if he gets his attention and continuing to try to calm it down. I think I have a move for this.
Yes, you do. It's called Welcome to the Family, and you roll plus courage to do it.
All right, let's try that.
So it's one of the moves where it's good that you're a Gryffindor to use this one. I'll read it to you. I'll read it for everyone while you are rolling. When you try to befriend a magical creature for the first time, roll plus courage. On a hit, they like you. Gain 1 camaraderie with them. On a 7 or 9, you choose 1. They hurt you by accident, mark a hex. They're still nervous around others and will attack. They're spooked and will flee, but they will be back. Their parents is near and will disapprove of you. Their parent is near. Yeah. So go ahead and roll plus courage. There's a yeah. Okay, that's so you choose 1. Do they hurt you by accident? Are they nervous? Are they spooked?
They're spooked.
Okay.
I think I confused them or something in the.
Okay. There's this weird moment when you're both looking at each other, and you realize that one of this augury's eyes doesn't look like a bird eye. It looks like a human eye, a blue human eye, and while the augury's eye is fixed on you, the other one is aimed towards the Hufflepuff stand. And then it takes flight and is out of your way again. And just like that, the crowd erupts into a loud cheer as Slytherin has just caught the snitch.
All right.
Of course.
I think Wyndon is more left just wondering what the heck just happened. What color was the eye, did you say?
Blue.
And
the augury's eye was green.
Okay. And from what Wyndon knows about augures, did this thing exceed the size that they normally reach?
No, but it's an adult. It's a big adult. And you've never seen one being so aggressive, you know? Like it's like after it collided with the Gryffindor Seeker, it attacked the Gryffindor Seeker. Like, how dare you bump into me? You think that it's either you think that there's a good chance that it might have been trained to be this aggressive.
So it was attacking someone in the stands, and that was the seeker that
Yeah.
it kind of like fell into it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to help that person. What is that person's name?
What is that person's name?
Someone else want to take this one? I feel like I've been making some ridiculous people.
Harry Potter names are ridiculous. Sorry for. Go ahead, Victoria.
No, I was just saying, to look at me, I made a Slytherin who eats paste, so I probably I think
okay.
Ridiculous people.
He was a first year, the Slytherin boy who eats paste, right?
Yes.
Okay, so he would be the Seeker.
No.
William Forrester.
Okay. All right. So yeah. I always miswrite. I never spell Gryffindor right. But yeah, he's on the list of NPCs. He gets up and he is mad. He's got like the like scratch marks all over his face. Like his like uniform is torn, and he turns to you and he says, "What the hell was your fucking bird doing here?"
That wasn't my bird. That thing was way bigger. Plus, it had wonky eyes.
Okay, so, what's happened? How are the people in the Ravenclaw stand reacting to this Slytherin victory?
So I think historically Ravenclaw has been kind of always allied with Gryffindor. So I imagine quite a few of like the older students are kind of a little sad by Slytherin's victory. But I think me and Valeria are kind of more pragmatic, I imagine.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty. I'm happy to see that what I thought was going to happen did happen. It's like, oh, okay, experiments confirmed.
Okay, so you are you like checking your idea to start running a betting ring?
I might be.
Okay.
I think she's looking at the notes that she took and going, okay.
All right. Okay. And how are the two Hufflepuffs reacting to the Gryffindor's defeat?
I think Alison and all her friends are booing and tossing their every flavor beans onto the pitch and generally expressing their dissatisfaction.
Okay, so Moira is going
in a jocular manner, of course. It's not vicious. It's all in good fun.
Yeah. I think Moira is joining in on that, and this is the most fun you've seen her had since like you met her.
I take it as a personal success.
Yeah, good job. And Lycos?
Well, Lycos is not happy. He isn't really devastated, but he's not happy about the results.
Mm-hmm.
Just really disappointed.
Yeah. So as people start to file out of the pitch, a couple of people who you see a couple of people who start eyeing you, Wyndon, with a little bit of resentment. You hear the phrase "your bird," his bird, coming back up a lot as and you realize that maybe a couple of Gryffindors think that it's that you caused your own house's defeat. So what do you do?
I think that Wyndon, who has been slowly realizing that people are going to be blaming Horace, he hasn't really given himself much consideration yet. He makes a break for it in his usual Wyndon fashion. He just starts running, and he runs for the Owlery.
Okay.
He's going to go find Horace.
All right. So you head towards the you head towards the Owlery. Okay. Do your friends see you heading off? Do your friends do anything concerning that? You have noticed this sort of a resentful ambiance around your friend Wyndon. So do any of you do anything? Okay.
Or even non-friends.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, Gather and is heading back towards the castles and seeing this augury thing go on. I think she'd follow him just out of concern that there'd be other people who are maybe trying to jump him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. You can clearly see he's not heading directly towards the castle, but towards the Owlery to the side instead.
Yeah. Okay. Do I see anybody who's coming after him?
Yeah, I think William Forrester he was like heading towards the infirmary, but then like he rubs shoulders with the like he points Wyndon to the two beaters of the team, and they start to head off towards the Owlery as well.
All right. Yeah, he's probably significantly larger than Valeria is. Yeah. But I'd like to use my Deceiver playbook to try to confuse him. Okay. Like, you know, he's really not the one you want. There's another person here who has an augury. Haven't you heard of, like, and I spat off some... I'm sorry, it's going to be a Hufflepuff, because, like, they weren't involved in the match. So, sorry, Hufflepuff House.
Do we want to point it on one of the other students that already exists, like the Hufflepuff prefect, Heather Shacklebolt, or
it was definitely Shacklebolt's augury. It's not Wyndon's. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, so let's roll that.
Okay, so roll to deceive them.
Let's see. It's roll plus wits. What's my modifier? 2.
2.
2. All right, I got an 8.
Okay. On a hit, you fool them for now. On a 7 or 9, you pick 2. You create an opportunity. You discover a weakness you can exploit, and you take +1 forward to act upon it. You confuse them for some time, and you don't get involved in more problems. So I assume you're going to go for confusing them for some time?
I'm going to confuse him, and let's see. I'm going to create an opportunity that he calls off the beaters that he'd found.
Mm-hmm.
And so the other two I leave be. So create an opportunity and I confuse him.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah. So Wyndon, you now have been given this opportunity to go do your thing at the Owlery without being disturbed at all, and you find yourself there with, you know, you enter to find the weirdest scene happening. The other augury is establishing dominance over yours by just simply, it has like one talon on its wing and the other one on its head, and your augury is like pinned to the floor. All of the other owls are watching this, but seemed like concerned and frightened, and they are like staying away from the fight. And there's auguries feathers everywhere in the owlery. A big fight just happened. So what do you do in regards to Horace and this new one?
I think he does something rather silly. I think he pulls Mab from his pocket and like throws her into the air and yells, "Run!" Basically, like fairies are augury food, and they have magic that helps them get away. But yeah, she's gonna try to like, if she does what I want her to, she's gonna try to zip out the window and lead the augury away, and then make her way to safety. So I'm gonna try to use Wild Bunch.
Yeah, that's what I figured you were going to do. Okay.
And when I try to impose my will on my beasts, roll plus loyalty on a 10 plus, all three on a 7 through 9, choose one. Number 1, they do what I want, otherwise they refuse. Number 2, they don't hurt anybody. You don't want them to, otherwise they do. Number 3, you don't have to give them anything in return, otherwise you must. So this could go very badly.
Yeah.
I have things for it, but I offered my fairy, and that was a bad idea. So I'm rolling loyalty.
Yep. Which you have 2 points of, so. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. So, wait. Oh no, wait. Yeah. So they do what. The map does what you want. Nobody gets she doesn't hurt anybody that you don't want you to, and you don't have to give her anything in return. She is all too happy to leave a room that has 2 auguries and a bunch of owls in it. And it works. The new augury leaves him alone and flies after her. She is going to be able to escape that and come back to you a bit later. But yeah, so but you find Horace has wounds. What do you do?
I think I just like carefully but quickly pick him up and then escape the owlery to the castle.
Okay. Are you going to the nurse? What's the proper word? It's not the nurse's office, but it's the
Infirmary?
Yeah, infirmary. Yeah.
Who was it that was teaching us about magical creatures? That was the history of magic class. Basically, I think maybe he's headed to the Gryffindor Tower, but if he runs into any staff along the way, he'd be running to that.
Okay.
Unless it's Filch.
Yeah. Never a good idea. Let's see.
Do I know Hagrid exists? Is he still
Yes,
around?
he's still around. He's still the teacher of magical beasts. For now, Lycos, I know we have something planned for the teacher for the teacher of care for magical creatures. Yeah.
So I hinted that Wyndon knows Hagrid, or is an acquaintance from the past. He's going to run to Hagrid's cabin instead.
Okay. All right. Well, we're just going to take a short break from what Wyndon is doing and have a look at the others. The 4 of you, sort of reunite on your way back up the castle, and once inside, it was a pretty short match overall, but it was really interesting for the first year. So what are your characters doing now? It's Saturday, so it's a day off.
I think
Right.
Valeria is just really excited that she's like, she has her notes out. She's like, look at this. I mean, if this continues, Gryffindor is getting nowhere near the top of the ranking this year. Also, do you know how dumb they are? I just convinced them to stop chasing Wyndon by telling them that was a Hufflepuff's augury. I mean, literally, Gryffindors are really dumb.
I think you're going to get the stink eye from the team's captain, Ginny Weasley. But like you feel like they're getting a lot of shit today, the Gryffindors. So.
And the lion tends to eat its own cubs.
Very true.
Lycos, what you know it's only a couple of days till the full moon. In fact, this year the full moon matches Halloween. You've started taking the potions that Horace has been making in order to keep everything in check. But it's around the time when you have to take a potion, when you have to take the potion from your bag. How does your character how do you remember the correct time to take the potion in general?
Right. There are some magical watches, aren't there?
I think there's also normal watches. I like
A watch with some kind of alarm.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I think you might have a. Do you have a remember-all maybe? It's the ball that grows
I know
red
what it
when
is,
you're.
but I think that's not really just practical because when are you going to take it out?
I have a suggestion. Does anyone remember the old headmaster's watch and how it was based on planetary bodies? That might be very useful for a werewolf.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't recall that at all, but maybe it's in a book I
Maybe
haven't
a
read.
simpler version of that thing.
Yeah, you have a okay, so you have a lunar watch, basically. Okay, perfect. Yes. So do you stay with your group of friends to take your potion when it starts to ring, or do you like?
I sneak off into the nearest bathroom.
Okay. All right. What about Allison and Rowan? What are you doing?
I think Alison is deep in conversation with her fellow Hufflepuffs because there's a huge commotion among the Hufflepuffs, especially the first years. Like, oh my God, have you heard about the augury? There's someone in our house who has a secret augury.
That's perfect. I love when Valeria is starting rumors, even when she's not using her move to start rumors.
It's what she does.
Like, oh my God, we need to find out about it. It's so against the rules. I can't believe it, and so on.
It's all for a good cause, though. That's what I've noticed. She's a nice liar.
For now.
And Rowan, what do you do?
I think Rowan's gonna probably be walking with Valerian while she's going over her betting table. I think Rowan is actually because first years aren't allowed to have their own brooms, are they?
Yeah, that is correct.
So he's thinking, hey Valerian, do you know how to break into the broom closet?
I'm sure I could find out. Why?
I want to practice.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. Um, are you going to do this during the day, in the Quidditch pitch where there's like the stands are high enough that you can still practice inside of it without being seen from the castle? Are you going to do this at night?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? This is perfect. This is absolutely perfect for the scene I had planned. So, which of you is doing the breaking and entering so that I know who's breaking the rules? Technically, you're
That's
both breaking
absolutely
the rules, but I only need one person to roll.
it's absolutely
Uh,
Valeria.
I think Valeria is better at it. I'll be lending a hand.
Yeah. Also, yes, this person was chiding you for taking a book, but his playbook is the bookworm. So of course he has more values for books than for brooms. So roll to break the rules.
Okay. Do we know where the broom closet is? Is it on the Quidditch pitch, or like do they have lockers or something?
I think yeah the brooms are going to be inside of the lockers of each teams, but the school brooms are going to be in a different place. So it depends. Are you going for the brooms of a specific team so that if you break it, it's no big deal, or are you going for?
Well, Rowan, what do you think?
I think we should go for the Gryffindor rooms if we're
Okay.
going for specific teams.
All right, we'll
Okay.
do that. So I just rolled a 9 on break the rules.
Okay, so let's have a look. Ta, ta, ta. Okay, on a 7 or 9, you choose. Wait, no, that's Brave Danger. When you have to do something forbidden to achieve your goal, tell the game master what your goal is and roll plus courage. On a hit, you reach it. On a 7 or 9, you choose 2. You don't get into trouble, so your house rank does not get dropped by 1. You don't get hurt, which means you don't mark a hex. It doesn't take a long time, and nobody bad finds out. Because of the scene that I have planned, I would like to suggest that you get into trouble and that somebody bad finds out. If you'd be okay with this, because I had a scene planned for that day, and it would play into it very well.
Do I get a benefit for doing this? Sure. Okay, we'll do that. So I do it quickly, right?
Yeah.
What was the other?
You don't get hurt.
I don't get hurt. What I'm thinking is that, wizards are all about like actually locking things with magic,
Yeah.
but Valeria is a half-blood and she knows how to pick a lock.
Okay. Yeah, and like if a door is protected with magic, there's always the wall, you know. These
There's also that.
Yeah, there's like okay. You find your way into the broom closet, which is really interesting because the other playtest that I did also had the players breaking into the Gryffindor's locker, but it was before the match to trap the brooms. All right. So, because you don't get hurt, basically both of you are going to have, you're gonna train around and you're gonna be doing fine. No, neither of you crashes. But in the meantime, I want to ask the other players where your characters would be, towards curfew time, when everybody is supposed to be in their dorm rooms, and like the common rooms are sort of like slowly emptying out, as only the 6th and 7th years and the 5th years are staying up late to do their homework. Let's start with Wyndon.
I want to see how Hagrid's plays out, but he might still be there, kind of hiding out from the consequences he suspects might be brought down upon.
Okay, nice. So you take you're going to be staying with Hagrid for some time. he's his usual self. Like as soon as he sees that your augury is hurt, like he goes into full mom mode and starts to take care of it, and like yeah, he's very talented at this, and it takes a couple of hours, but like yeah, but maybe by the time you that it's late enough for curfew, you haven't. Did you realize what the time was like that it was so late, but you didn't care, or did you not realize because of how worried you were?
I would say that he realized, but he was so worried about it that it's more just like additional stress. Like he's watching out the window, it getting darker, and it's like, oh god.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So would you like to roll perceive something you're not supposed to see Victoria and sorry, Valeria and Rowan heading towards the pitch, or not?
So I think I'd be focused on getting the lock open. So maybe Rowan, do you want to roll?
No. I just meant if Wyndon perceived
Oh,
the two of
sorry.
you heading towards the pitch.
Yeah, I'm gonna attempt that for sure.
All right.
Perceive something I'm not supposed to?
Yes.
I'm not very perceptive.
Okay, that is a fail, and I don't think anybody is close enough to help you with anything. So you don't see them, you don't spot them. Okay. What is Lycos doing at towards the evening?
Right, since it's only a few days until the next full moon, I'm just gonna check my potions, how many are left, if I need to go to Slughorn soon again.
Mm-hmm.
And just mentally preparing pretty much for a big night.
Okay. All right. What about Alison?
I think Alison is in her common room for sure, and she's not doing any homework. She's socializing, and I think she's already working on building a little posse for herself because she feels she needs a little group of followers.
Nice.
It would be good for her status and for her overall brand recognition at school that is so important for her. So she would like to have a little bit of a crab and goyle situation in the form of two first-year Hufflepuff girls. That would be, her little followers, I think.
Nice.
And maybe then Moira could be the fourth wheel on that in that scenario if she would be all right with it. But that's how Alison plans it at this point anyway.
Yeah, I think the idea of belonging trumps the we're making a Hufflepuff gang weirdness. So yeah, she would join your crew. Okay. So we're gonna start with you. Who's the Madam? No, wait. Who's the Hufflepuff head of house again? What's her name?
You mean
it was Commoner Sprout, but is she still alive?
Professor
Sprout.
Professor Sprout.
Yes.
Enters the common room, and she comes over to you and she says, "Listen, I'm sorry to disturb you now, but could you come with me? Your parents are here."
My parents?
Yes.
Oh my god, I'm freaked out already. I'm all I get flushed, and of course I'm jumping up and following her sheepishly.
Okay. Lycos, you're also asked to come. Which one of your parents is a wizard?
That would be my mother.
Your mother?
Yes.
Okay. So yes, your Professor Sprouts tells you your mother's here. We need you to come downstairs.
All right. I think I have a feeling I know what it's about, and I just follow without any questions.
Okay. Next up, so the two Ravenclaws, you're not there, but the Gryffindor head of house. Phew. Okay. Here's the thing. The head. From what I know, it's possible to stay a teacher while being a headmaster because Umbridge does it, but I wouldn't know about about McGonagall staying head of class, and I don't think Hagrid would be made head of house.
Doesn't seem likely.
Yeah, so I'm thinking we get another one of our NPCs to be the Gryffindor head of house. Let's have a quick look at the list of NPCs. So it would be either Professor Iron Greenwood. Unfortunately, Professor Longstride is a centaur, so she wouldn't have been in Hogwarts long enough to be a head of house. And the other professor that we introduced was... Did we introduce any other professor?
I don't think there is another.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so we're gonna say that Professor Ian Greenwood is head of Gryffindor House. Is that fine with you? Perfect. It plays into something else that I had planned earlier.
The evil planning.
Yes. It's just I'm making a lot of connections. Okay, so Wyndon, you don't know how, but it seems that Professor Ian Greenwood is able to find you rather quickly. He knocks on yeah, he knocks on Hagrid's door and asks specifically, "Hello, Hagrid. Have you seen young Wyndon Moores?" And Hagrid says, "Yes, he's right here." And Professor Greenwood tells you, "What are you doing up and about at this late hour, boy?"
Could you remind me what Ian Greenwood looks like?
I don't think I've described him. He is going to have sort of like wild hair, and he's sort of like a bit his robes are a bit unkempt, but also like flamboyant even by wizard standards. Like he looks a bit wild on the in a lot of ways.
It's pretty much what Wyndon's used to. Yeah, I think Wyndon kind of like shuffles his feet a little bit, looking down at the floor. Well, I was worried about Horace, and I was worried about what they would do to me if I went back to the Gryffindor Tower.
He sort of kneels down next to you and he says, "Listen, we could. I'm sure we can figure this out. I understand being out of bounds at this hour. You're a young Gryffindor after all, and it's there's been a couple already this year. Don't worry. I think your reasons were good enough, but I need you to come with me. Your mother is here. And she's visiting Hogwarts for the first time in a long time, so we should head up there.
All right. He gets like this wide-eyed look, and like he goes over to grab Horace and then starts to run out, but then stops and goes over to Hagrid and hugs him and then runs out.
Okay. As you're heading out, Professor Greenwood tells you, so you have you care a lot about your magical about your pets. Do you take this from? I suppose you take this from your mother.
I suppose. I mean, it's they're really the best kind of friends. They never put you down, or well, occasionally I suppose they might beat you up, but only if you deserve it.
Mm. And I suppose they have a lot of loyalty and don't leave you, huh? And before you can answer, you both see. Why am I so bad with names today? The head of house, the Ravenclaw head of house, looking.
Phineas
Luna.
Flitwick.
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 Flitwick?
Yes. He is standing at the edge of the the big doors, the entrance of the castle, and he tells Professor Greenwood, I see you found yours quickly enough. I can't find I cannot find mine for the life of me. Where they're not inside of their classroom. They're not. I can't find them on the grounds, and their friends don't seem to be able to tell where they are. Have you seen Valeria and Rowan, Wyndon?
Oh, can't say I have since the match. I've been a bit busy.
The match? Huh? Have they? So like Greenwood and Flitwick look at each other like, huh? And Greenwood says, "Well, it's more to be expected from members of my house, but it could be that they got a little bit of Quidditch fever. What do you think?" And Flitwick, thinks about it a little bit, and he says, "All right, I'll go check the pitch, but if I don't find them, we might have to start before they're here." And he heads off towards the pitch, and he's going to catch both of you flying around on Gryffindor broomsticks, basically. So, your house
I'm
ring.
not playing. I just did the breaking and entering.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so you weren't practicing.
I have no interest in joining a Quidditch team.
Okay.
But
I'd probably have her like throw like the what's it called? The quaffle?
yeah,
kinda-
I think I'll like throw the quaffle for you.
All right. Perfect.
Misusing school equipment.
Okay. So currently, Ravenclaw House is 4th place. So you losing a rank means both of you mark detention instead of
Awesome.
marking experience.
I still have detention, by the way. I don't know exactly when my
you-
conditions go.
The detention is the only one that goes on its own when it's done a penalty to move. It was it should have I should have told you to remove it when you had downtime, basically.
Where do I mark
Okay.
detention?
It turns out I
Under
did.
your hexes.
Okay, thanks.
Right.
There it is.
Actually, I think because his stride is longer, Greenwood is going to to go and find you in the pitch and give both of you detention. And because it serves my purpose more if you have detention with him than Flitwick. It allows me to place a few more hints for your mysteries. All right, you all find yourselves inside of. You're going to be inside of a classroom with your parents present there, and also there's another character. There's a man, and he's wearing Auror robes. And he he's combed really well. He has a very elegant sense of fashion and things like this. And on top of all, he has 2 eyes of different colors, one green and one blue. So, as your characters are ushered into the room, and only Professor Greenwood is going to stay while this is happening. The other head of houses are just going to say their good nights and leave. The Auror starts talking, and he says, "Hello, my name is." Hold on, the game master has to look for the name of this character. He's going to be one of those where I give the name, not everybody, not players. So he is called Rhonda Kempster.
All right. I think Wyndon is hiding behind his mother to make it harder to see him and his augury.
Okay.
Like, he's got a bad vibe about this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's worried about being taken away for his crime.
Okay.
Valeria is standing sort of sheepishly next to her dad, trying to look like she doesn't care, but it's pretty clear that she's really embarrassed to be here.
Okay. All right.
Alison is avoiding her parents' eyes because she's sure it's about the stolen book.
Oh, wait. Why is this here? Okay, never mind. Give me just 1 second, and yes. All right. So I've added him to the list of characters, and he says, "All right, hello, children. I am sorry to disturb you this late into the night, but I had to do this discreetly. The ministry has tasked me to participate in the investigation in Esther Wright's disappearance and dark magic activities. And since it seems that all of you have formed some sort of friendship group around Esther's sister, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions with your parents present." And immediately, the Alison's parents are going to start arguing. Your father says, "What is this nonsense? There's no way my daughter would be linked to the one would have any links whatsoever to the one Hufflepuff Dark Witch to have ever existed." And Aniston's mother starts to say, "Come on, we don't know for sure that she's a Dark Witch. The investigation, we have no details on the investigation yet. There might still be a way to save the Hufflepuff reputation." And you can see that this starts arguing like they've been arguing about this for a while. What are they called? What are your parents' names, Adam?
Just a second. And by the way, I was kind of thinking it would be nice if my father was actually working at the ministry. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I was thinking that maybe he's even a head of a department, but it's some very boring, unexciting department, like administrative affairs. Nothing exciting, nothing fancy, nothing connected with fighting the dark wizards and so on. He's doing something very, very boring, but very responsible.
That is going to make my plot for the second year so much better. So yes.
Okay. Cool. About my parents, 1 second. So my father's name is Alistair.
Okay.
And my mother's name is Adele.
Okay. No singular jokes, please. We'll wait a little bit more to do these. So it's Adele,
Appleby,
and Alistair.
Yeah.
Appleby. Okay. All right. So I'm going to have a parents section of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Which ministry would he be the head of?
Let's say the Department of Administrative Affairs.
Okay, we're going to go over each of your parents real quick and how they're reacting to, their 11-year-old children being tied to a criminal investigation. So, anyone have the names of your parents and ideas what they do and how they react?
I'm guessing mine aren't here. Unless they are.
Oh yeah, you. Since you are a Muggle-born, I think they wouldn't be able to be inside of Hogwarts. They probably sent a letter giving their consent for you to be, for the Aurors to talk with you, as long as there was a headmistress or a teacher present to, to make sure everything is all right.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay. Wyndon, yes?
So I figured out who my mother is already. Neva Moores, the spelling's in chat. And I think she's like a seer, like a professional fortune teller, probably in Wizarding London.
Okay. Perfect. Next up, what about Lycos's parent?
Right, so my mother is Mary, and she works as a nurse at St. Mungo's. And my father, Jonas, is just a factory worker and a muggle.
Okay. Can you repeat what your father does?
He's just a factory worker.
Okay. I really want to know how they met, based on your description. Lycos's parents. Hey, we're starting to have about as many NPCs as there are characters inside of the first book of Harry Potter, so that's great. And Victoria.
So Valeria's dad is Thomas Carter.
Okay.
I think he does like magical research.
Mm-hmm.
That would be with the Ministry or with like St. Mungo's. I kind of figure it was more something with like industry, but I don't know any of their businesses. So
okay, might So there, I know that curse breakers are a bit more like adventurers, and they like they have to find innovative ways of breaking curses and like these. But it's more of an Indiana, magical Indiana Jones types of thing. Doing research is
No.
mostly only done inside, apart from the curse breakers, only mostly done inside of the Department of Mysteries.
Okay, so he would work there. He's not an adventurer type. He's like a lab worker. Like he's in the Muggle world, he would be a scientist.
Okay.
That's totally Department of Mysteries.
Yes, and this is going to be so good for the second year. I'm so happy. I'm so glad. Okay. Yeah,
I
I've
also want to take
written
a
all of
second
this down.
to establish, since I just decided that she's a seer, like Wyndon gets weird advice sometimes. Like he gets letters from home, like telling him not to tie his shoes today, and it doesn't help make him popular. I'll put it that way.
Oh, I love that. I love that. What weird advice is she giving you right now concerning this interview with an Auror?
I think she says things like, "Oh, you shouldn't be wearing a hat in here," you know, like, so he has to like take off his hat. Like occasionally, she just like sees something. She's like, "Oh, yeah, that's not gonna work. You just have to check."
I love it. Okay. And let's. What about? Let's see a little bit about like how they're interacting with this scene. Lycos, how would your mother be? Yeah, what would your mother be doing right now?
Right, that's difficult since I don't really have that much information about it yet.
Mm-hmm. It's okay. Do you want me to go with the other players and so you can think?
But I think she's more worried should be more worried about me since the full moon is near. So she's I think she's asking if I'm taking my potions and if I'm being discreet about it.
Okay. I think since she might not have been told why she was being brought here to talk with you so maybe she's a bit relieved that it's not about, oh, you didn't hurt anybody. Okay, good.
Yeah, that seems like the way to go. Yeah.
All right, perfect. And Victoria, what about your?
So I think Valeria's dad he's a little disappointed in her. Basically, more like her Muggle mom, and they had a bit of a nasty breakup. So it's like, why would you do this? I can't believe you're acting like her. You've gotten in so much trouble. And Valeria is just like stony eyed, just like, no, I'm like not listening to this. Can handle this. Trying not to cry.
Oh, that is perfect because that plays into your Vane playbook and like the reason why you're going that direction perfectly. Okay.
The rebel.
Rebel.
I also wanted to tell you real quick, Simon. Horace is, originally my mother's bird. He's like a member of the family. He's been around.
Okay, so she's not going to react well to hearing the state that he's in right now.
Yeah, I've got him in my arms right now, still, because I just came back from.
All right, so Rhonda Kempster. He says, all right, I have a few questions for all of you about Moira. I'd like for you to answer them truthfully. This is important because it could lead us to catch Esther, one of the only dark witches and wizards, or one of the only dark witches that is still active after the fall of Voldemort. So let's
Sorry, I just want to clarify. My brother isn't there.
Oh, I think your brother is there. Yes, I forgot about
Okay.
him. He is present, and like he's got his arms crossed. He hasn't talked to your parents, and your parents haven't talked to him.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And he and Rhonda are giving each other stares, and they look about the same age. By the way, Rhonda is like a young Auror. So, as you, he asks, have you noticed anything suspicious about Moira or anything, or anything rule breaking that she has attempted recently? And like he has a quill that's automatically writing down stuff like Rita Skeeter's to the side.
Just try to avoid notice here. Don't say anything.
Okay. So I see a lot of you are nobody says anything.
Literally hiding.
Okay. Right. Can you tell me how she's been doing in class?
She seems fine in class.
All right. She hasn't seemed disturbed by the news of her sister going.
And she's sad about it.
Like
As anyone would be.
The quill is scratching furiously to the side, and it's the only sound in the room. And he takes out a clock, big clock, that has three spoons attached to it. Two, like not like spoons, but like basically three arms. One arm is has Moira's face on it and is pointing towards school, and another arm has the face of a person you have never seen before, pointing towards home, and there's a third arm, and he asks, "Can any of you tell me if you can any of you tell me which where this arm is pointing to?" And he points towards the arm that has Esther's face. You've seen Esther on papers so far, and surprisingly, as soon as you try to get that information, it just doesn't stick in your mind. You can't tell where which direction the arm is pointing to. So what? It's as if basically it's because of the Fidelius charm. It's you're unable to get this information. But yeah, what do your characters say anything?
I think Rowan will just kind of look at Valeria, like
Valeria is like I think she recognizes, because we saw the Fidelius charm before, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What it is, but she's at this point like there's been too much going on. She's not snitching. She just stares ahead.
Okay. No one?
Nope, snitching.
I'm just going to ask him what I'm supposed to see.
This, we know there is a secret concerning Esther's location that is protected by the Fidelius charm. So, since the Fidelius charm is hiding this information from us, there's no way we can find it unless the secret keeper shows us this information. And it's unlikely that Esther would have cast it on herself because because casting a Fidelis charm on to hide one's presence while being the secret keeper makes it very hard for one to ever be seen again before one dies, or on the opposite side, or on the opposite end, makes it easy for one to stumble across, to stumble into revealing the secret to people just by existing near them. So we know that the secret keeper is not Esther. That would be very unlikely, and we have interrogated almost everyone that it could be, which is why I'm following this lead. Which is why I'm trying to find out if Moira is the secret keeper, because if she is, it's possible that any of her friends are in danger. Esther Wright will stop at nothing to get what she wants, and if you...
What is that exactly?
Power. At least that's what the Ministry thinks. And as he says this, your brother Adrian just tells him, "You're a liar. You know her better than this. You know she's not after power, and you shouldn't even be on this case. You have a conflict of interest because of what happened during the Battle of Hogwarts." And the Rhonda just turns to Anison's parents and asks them, "Please keep your child in check." And like both of Anison's parents are going to like give him the eye to try to get him to calm down. And seeing as nobody's taking his side, he turns to you and he says, "What about you? You all know Moira has nothing to do with this and that she's innocent. Tell him."
Okay, so I say that well, I've spent some time with Moira recently, and she does seem a little quiet, but there's nothing suspicious about her behavior at all. She's a perfectly fine Hufflepuff girl, you know. And there's absolutely no reason to suspect her of anything. I kind of want to get on my brother's good side at this point.
All right. So yeah, he smiles at you, your brother, but Rhonda, on the other hand, looks disappointed, and he says, "Very well. I don't think there will be any further questions, but every single one of you should know I will keep an eye out, and I am going to stay at Hogwarts for some time in order to keep this investigation going to ensure this, all of your safety, because we don't know what Esther might do, and I think your proximity to Moira, as much as I would like to condemn it, I can't control your actions."
I'm a little freaked out by all this.
He gets up and puts the clock back into like a bag that seems to be able to contain more than its size, and yeah, he starts to leave this classroom. What do you do?
I want to peek out and try to get a look at his blue eye. I assume that's the unusual one. Is there one that's
No,
one
his green eye looks avian in nature.
okay? Yeah, so I'm just like staring at him as he goes, just terrified behind my.
Okay. His green avian eye is fixed on you, while his blue eye, that looks more human, is looking towards the door that he's about to cross.
Whoop! Hide again. Yep, gone. I only peeked out apparently because he saw me. So
Yeah, but like they've been darting in different directions throughout the conversation. I just forgot to mention it.
Ew.
So what? Like as soon as he leaves the room, Lycos's mother is like has a sigh of relief and says, "Oh well, I'm glad that it's not as worrisome as it was made out to be." And like all of the other parents sort of like stare at her like, "What do you mean? There's a dark witch on the loose, and our kids might get hurt." Yeah, what's have like did like Professor Ian is going to say that I'll get the kids back to their dorms, but I need to speak with some of you beforehand. So like yeah, he's going to do this. So it's
Can I have a word with my parents first? Just a quick word.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Mhm.
So I turn to my parents, and I'm quite shaken by all these revelations and what transpired. But I want to show them that I'm on top of things. So I'm like, Dad, Mom, Dad, I assure you, I've been spending a lot of time with Moira, and she's absolutely normal. She's not suspicious at all. And besides, you should really maybe talk to Adrian, like openly, and listen to what he has to say, because this is getting too far. All this fighting and conflict. So maybe try to have a talk with him and figure things out. I'm acting as the moderator in my own family.
So yeah, Alistair says, "Listen, you really ought to stay away from this Moira girl." And he gets like an elbow to the side from Adele, who says, "No, you stay friends with whoever you want. She sounds like she's a nice person, but listen, we things are complicated with your brother, and this is an adult this is a problem that adults have to deal with. Let the adults take care of this."
Okay, Mom.
And Adrian like smiles, and he says, "Thank you for trying." But then he's going to like leave. He starts to head off towards his dorm, his common room, without any adult supervision. And curiously enough, Professor Greenwood doesn't seem to be having a problem with this, because he's in a deep conversation with Never Morris, and they're pleasantly chatting. When did you also see your mother laugh? That's something that she doesn't do very often.
yeah, I think he's like meanwhile like tugging on her skirt and getting ignored. Like He desperately wants to tell her something, and he's just like got this look of shock on his face, but she's just into this guy.
Yeah. By the way, this scene I've dropped hint for all of your mysteries except Lycos. I'm sorry, we haven't started your mystery yet. It's going to be like in a couple of scenes that we introduced the premise of it. So yeah. What about Rowan?
Rowan's just kind of like awestruck. He thinks he's now in like one of those crime shows that he often sees his parents watch on the TV.
Nice. Are you sad or happy that neither of your parents are here? Because everybody seems to have a lot more to deal with now that their parents are present, but also you're an 11-year-old away from home.
So he's gotten into trouble before, like, because he attended like normal school up until this point. So he's like kind of happy that they're not.
Okay. What about Victoria?
So Valeria is kind of still getting a lecture from her dad about like, you're always causing trouble. What are you doing? It just goes on and on. I think he's like, it's that parent thing where for your child, so you're gonna kind of scold him for like every little thing that she's done. And like the fact that she has detention now, that's just the worst thing in the world.
Oh yeah.
This is clearly her mother's influence.
By the way, both you and Rowan, you are getting detention, but since Rowan's parents are not present, it's Victoria. Like, I get the feeling that your father is a sort of helicopter parent who hasn't seen you in a couple of weeks since you've been at Hogwarts, and so it's like all in one evening you got detention and you're linked with this Moira and stuff like this. So like you're not having a good time, correct?
Yeah, she shouldn't have been allowed to spend the summer with her mom.
Okay.
What's the problem?
All right. Okay, I think. Yeah. Professor Greenwood starts to bring all of you back to your respective common rooms. First, he's going to, just tell the parents that they probably know the way out, but as your but a couple of them decide to, walk the halls of Hogwarts with a little bit of nostalgia, accompanying you to the common rooms. I know Nevermore's is doing this absolutely. What about the other parents? Who else is sticking around a little bit more?
My mother is sticking around, just muttering over me, just asking questions over again. Am I taking my potions? Am I safe every time? At every full moon? Those kind of questions.
Okay. Is she the one who decided on your name?
Let's say yes.
Okay. All right. So like okay. Yeah. What about Victoria's? Valeria. God damn it! You changed your name, and now I'm doing the opposite thing that I wanted to do.
You were saying Dane and Victoria, so we added our things.
Yeah. Try to be a little helpful. So I think that Valeria's dad, he's just gonna head back. He doesn't want to hang out too much. I think he was a little annoyed that he got dragged away from the middle of whatever project he was working on. Mm-hmm. So he like makes sure that she's okay and back to her common room, and then just goes.
Okay. And what about the Appleby parents? Are they sticking around a little bit longer?
Well, I would say so. My father, being the ministry official, he probably wants to get a little more information about this whole situation. So I think yes, they stick around.
Yeah.
And maybe they want to just walk around the school a little more, a little bit more, and go down a memory lane for a while.
Okay. Yeah, I think like she's going to comment all about how the ministry really wants to look good, and to like catch this Esther Wright, um, really soon, because after Voldemort like escaped them for this many years, they really want to like be done with Dark Wizard and witches. So it's a really big problem that they're making so little progress. But now that he knows that there's a Fidelius charm on her, it makes a lot more sense. Okay. All of you are dropped off at your different common rooms. I think. I think something else is going to happen. So just give me 1 second. It's something for Allison. Yes. While you're making your way to the Hufflepuff common room, Arcturus Appleby is going to show up. He's Alison's ancestor, the one that you saw a portrait of, and he he demands to have a conversation with your parents, since his portrait has been put in the attic back in the family home for some reason. And yeah, he wants to talk with Adele specifically. And he seems angry. So Adele is going to stay back, talk with him while the rest of you, while you head towards the Hufflepuff common room. And yeah, it's after that all of you sleep sometime, and I think afterwards we're going to have a little bit of downtime just before Halloween. Is that fine with everyone, or does anyone have anything else to do?
I have
That's
a
good.
thing.
Yes, Wyndon, go ahead.
Rather than having the ability to articulate his problems, he tells his mother that he wants to go home. What's her reaction?
She says, nonsense. There's dark clouds over London currently, and besides, you're here, and you're safe at Hogwarts. Hogwarts is the safest place in all of England, and you have some wonderful people protecting you. The headmistress McGonagall, but also Professor Greenwood, who's very talented with magic. You have nothing to fear, and if you need anything, I'm sure. She turns to Greenwood, who nods. I'm sure you can come and ask him for help. And he says, yes, we'll get this whole thing sorted out with your augury. And she asks, what happened with my Horace?
Well, you see, people are blaming him for something that happened, but it wasn't him. It was another augury. And everyone's mad at him, and I don't think he's safe here any longer.
Oh. Who could this who all right, well, we should make sure that he's safe. Yes. don't worry. We'll take care of this. I'm going to talk with Professor Greenwood, and yeah, I think there's a small moment when all of your characters are like when the parents are going to be talking with Greenwood, and all of your characters are going to be like alone to the side of the corridor. Do you have any information that's important that you'd like to share with each other?
I would like to catch up with Valeria because we didn't really have a moment to speak recently.
Sorry, I missed everything you just said to me, Simon.
Okay.
I lost sound for maybe 20 seconds.
Okay. Basically, like your mother said that your right horse needed to be protected, and she was going to figure it out with Professor Greenwood. And they're having a talk, and the four of you are to the side. All the kids are together and alone. So if you need to, do what Harry Potter children do in those circumstances, which is share secrets and stuff like this, you can. And Alison had started catching up with Valeria.
Yes, I
Sorry
would
to interrupt.
ask. So what happened? Did I hear about the detention? It was mentioned during the meeting.
Oh, well, Rowan and I just wanted to borrow some of the Gryffindor broomsticks. Rowan's been thinking of doing some Quidditch practice, and I was helping him out. And I got caught.
It wasn't enough for you the last time. You had to go and find something else to get yourself
I was
into.
helping a friend, okay?
It's always helping a friend for you.
Yeah, I'm a
Or-
helpless person.
Although more often it's friends helping you. To be honest. Hey,
It
do you
works
want?
both ways.
Yeah, I know. Hey, do you want my dad? If you want, I can ask my dad to talk to your dad, maybe, if he's giving you grief about it, maybe.
Oh, I'm sure he'll just not let me go to my mom's for Christmas, but it'll be fine. But thank you.
Yeah, you sure? Okay.
I'm sure.
I'm trying to be helpful and loyal here.
No, you are so helpful and loyal.
I know.
You don't think that could Moira really be the secret keeper? I mean, she had that Fidelius charm on her book.
Maybe let's not mention the book around other people.
Not mention the book around them. Ugh, what do you hate me for?
Okay, so, but I don't know. She seems so nice and so timid, and
I'm not saying she's not nice and timid. I'm not even saying that it's necessarily she's wrong or knows what she's even doing. I mean, she's.
Do you think she could be the secret keeper and not know it? Is this possible?
I don't know. GM, is that possible?
Yes.
Let's ask Rowan, maybe.
It's
yes, Rowan.
It's possible. Just one thing, because this is an important plot point. Could we could we have your character summarize what the whole book situation is for Lycos?
All right. So there was a book that I found in the library in the forbidden section of the library. It turned out to be Esther's Defense Against the Dark Arts book. It had a Fidelius charm on it, which the secret keeper was Moira. We ended up taking it, and she doesn't know we have it.
We gave it back to her.
We gave her the copy back, actually.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yes. Yeah. Any questions, Lycos, about what we just said?
Not about the book, no. But I do want to walk up to Alison and tell her we have to tell Moira about this. She has to know about it.
Spoken like a true Gryffindor. It's like a true Hufflepuff.
That's what I was about to say. Yes, like true Hufflepuffs would. Yes, I think you're right. Besides, I want to make her part of my posse, so it seems only fitting that she trusts me above anyone else.
I think Wyndon, you'd be here as well, since you're all like being like shepherded back to your common rooms by Ian and the parents.
Okay, but the whole conversation with my mother hasn't occurred yet.
Oh, no, it occurred, and then she said she was going to figure it out with Ian Greenwood, and she went to the side and like they're talking with, and the parents are like talking with each other basically.
Oh, okay, that occurred in the corridor. Okay.
Yeah.
So everyone would just see like Wyndon's like essentially like he looks worse than after his encounter with the ghost the other day. If anyone remembers that, he's just terrified and like hyper alert and not saying anything.
But I think it's around this time that Mab comes back after and is safe and alive.
All right. He kisses her all over the face and then tucks her into his pocket.
Wyndon, are you okay?
Wyndon, I'm so
he-
sorry that Gryffindor lost the match. I couldn't believe it myself.
What?
I'm so sorry that Gryffindor lost the Quidditch match. It was horrible.
Oh, yeah, terrible. Absolutely terrible.
I know
And
how you feel. I can't believe it.
No. You don't know. He's like looking around. He says, he leans in and kind of whispers at everyone. I know who it was.
What are you talking about?
Who caught the snitch?
No.
We all saw it.
No, not that. The big bird, the big mean bird.
Oh, the thing that flew onto the pitch.
Yeah, that's who that guy just was.
Animagus?
Guy?
You know,
I've never heard of a magical animagus.
The Auror, right? The one
yeah,
with the weird eyes.
he's the one that hurt Horace. I don't know why, but I know it's him, and he's after me.
I'm not going to ask a check from anyone, but I am going to specify this. The augury had this eye. This eye was blue and humanoid, and this eye was green and avian. Whereas the Auror, what's his name again? Rhonda Campus had this eye had the opposite, basically.
Wyndon says, "Oh my goodness, I shouldn't have told you. Now you're all in trouble." Oh,
Well, we
oh
already
my God.
got in trouble to begin with, so it's not.
No. I mean he's gonna come after us, cause we know his evil.
I think Rowan's just gonna be like looking at him like, what?
I mean, are you sure? Maybe we should tell the headmistress.
You do whatever you want.
Wyndon, you're the one that saw it. You're gonna have to be the one that comes in and helps.
I have to hide. Horace.
I don't think we can hide Horace tonight. I mean, it's kind of hard to slip away with all of our parents and Professor Greenwood up ahead.
I know
Plus,
that place, but it's not always safe.
What place?
So I'm gonna say that during my curse times, I'm going to go to that little shack that's a bit haunted. The Shrieking Shack.
Okay.
The secret passage to the Shrieking Shack.
Yeah. After it is quite safe most of the month. So you could hide him there.
Guys, are you seriously discussing sneaking out of the school at night and going to the village?
Shh, not so loud.
Yes.
I say in a deep whisper.
What do you say in a deep whisper?
What I said before. Are you seriously considering sneaking out?
All right.
Right now with an Auror here and a dark wizard potentially hunting students?
You heard him. He's gonna be here for days.
Yes, and he probably will catch you when you try to sneak out.
He's
He
gonna
definitely
catch
sneaked
me
out.
if I don't.
Well,
He knows where I
can't argue
sleep.
with that.
Plus, I'm not really looking forward to going back to the Gryffindor. Everyone's blaming me, and it was really his fault.
I told everyone it was a Hufflepuff's augury. I told them it was Shacklebolt's augury. You're fine.
What?
To suspect like a Hufflepuff to have, and they weren't involved in the match, and I couldn't very well say that a Ravenclaw's augury did this.
The whole Hufflepuff is an uproar about the secret augury that someone is keeping somewhere, and it was your doing.
Maybe. Yes. I'm sorry.
Well, I can't be angry at you.
What's your name? He looks at Lycos.
I'm Nikos.
Oh, Wyndon. Do you think you can help me get there?
Sure. Just, it can't be tomorrow night. It has to be the day after tomorrow.
What? No, it has to be tonight.
Then, okay. Then we're going tonight.
Okay.
But we have to be very careful.
All right. As you finish you're in this part of the conversation when Professor Greenwood makes his way back to you and says, "All right, listen, Wyndon. Don't worry about Horace. I'm going to go back to Hagrid's and make sure he's safe and he can recover there for the night. All right. And as for the Gryffindors who made you a bit uncomfortable before, I will make sure to tell them that it wasn't your augury that fell in the match. After all, I'm pretty sure I recognize this augury as Kempist's. I know he had one here during his school years at Hogwarts. So don't worry, I'll clear this up for you, so you don't so that it won't cause you any more trouble. All right.
All right. He kind of like hands her Horace, who has been kind of probably bundled up in his arms this time.
I thought Horace had like stayed at Hagrid's. Hagrid's would have mentioned that like he like Horace wasn't good to be transported.
Okay, I had said I had grabbed him, but that's fine. We can say he's with Hagrid in his safekeeping as
Okay.
a friend of the.
I think like I heard you say I grab him, but and then something else happened, and I thought you were like leaving him at Hagrid's. Basically.
He just hugged Hagrid was the but it's cool. I think that.
Okay, cool. So actually, I changed my mind on the downtime move. I think what we should do real quick is take a measure of where everyone is out with their mysteries and if they have, so if anyone has solved their mystery or what clues you have concerning your individual mysteries so far. And because if any of them have their questions answered, we can we have you get some bonuses, and then we can move on to the next one. So I think everyone have a look at your mysteries. I think Wyndon's mystery might be close to being solved.
So far, I have phoenixes can be trained to be birds of prey, and Filch hates auguries, but I'm not sure if I just got a clue and you didn't tell me, or because you said everyone got a clue.
Oh, basically, a lot of the clues that I place in the narration are subtle. So basically, like, I'm always implying things and putting things into different scenes, which which are part of the mysteries. Basically, any scene where Ian Greenwood shows up, there's a subtle clue about Valeria's mystery inside of it.
So is that on me to write it down, or do I just is it not a true clue?
It's there because they're subtle. Because they're subtle clues. You can write them. You can write some things that you notice down, but it's not necessarily confirmed that everything that I say is a clue, unless if you use a move like hit the library to confirm it.
Got it.
Yeah. So basically, like, if at any point you're like, oh, I got the answer based on the clues and the context in the narration and stuff like this, the mystery should be solved if your answer is correct.
So
what's your mystery again?
I'm not quite there, I don't think. I noticed the school owls act terrified of Horus, even though they don't seem that threatening. I wonder what is causing all this fear. And I'm starting to connect the dots. Filch hates auguries. The owls are afraid of auguries. So clearly there was a problematic augury in the school at some point, but I need to learn more about that before my mystery is actually solved, I think.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I think like based on everything that's coming together, you're very close to the answer, and we can solve the first mystery of this game. Anybody else have like feel?
So I figured I have mine about half solved, I think. So I figured out who was there in the forbidden section of the library, but I haven't figured out what they found yet.
Yes. So who do you think was in the forbidden section of the library?
So I think it was Moira was in there.
Okay. Yeah. There was this rumor that she wasn't that she was late at the sorting ceremony and that she just vanished for a couple of for a segment of time. Okay, so that's interesting. But once again, I think you need to like confirm to have the mystery like solved. Valeria, real quick, where are you at with the dark past of?
I have that Greenwood believes in or is involved in some conspiracy involving the Ministry and the Aurors, and he talks a lot with Wyndon's mom.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Okay. All right. Just.
I missed anything?
No. You. I think I might have put the emphasis not necessarily on the right aspects, but don't worry, you'll gather all of the clues eventually.
Cool.
Okay. So talking about and Alison, what's your?
I haven't pursued my mystery really at all. I haven't tried to speak to any of the portraits. I haven't been following this thread at all. I've been concentrating on my social life at school so far, and I figure it's kind of fitting for Alison. She's not really a mystery solver.
Yeah, definitely. And that's perfectly okay because it just gives me more opportunities to instead of giving the clues outright when you roll, to just hint at them during role play. So
I know now there's something going on with my ancestor's portrait, of course, but that's really the only thing that I have learned about this business.
Okay. So just and to introduce Lycos's mystery to the game, I think I'm going to need Valeria's help if you're okay with this. The next morning, it's there's an announcement. McGonagall explains that because Professor Hagrid is it has accepted to work with the ministry to restore the relationships between giants and wizards. By serving as ambassador, he is going to be leaving the school for a couple of months, and he will be replaced by, I think her name is Professor Woodley Plank. I have no idea how it's written. Can somebody type it in chat?
I think you have it, actually.
I think that was Grubbly Plan.
Grubbly Plank? Yeah, still don't know how it's
Oh.
written.
I check.
I'll look it up.
Thank you very much. And yes,
Rubber plank.
So Lycos, why don't you tell us all what your mystery is, and we'll use the Grubbly Plank name to start this. And I think the rumor that's mentioned in the mystery is going to be given to you by Valeria, because she is the rumor mill.
Yep, that's what I do.
Right, so I heard that this Professor Grubbly Plank has recovered from a cursed simulator mine. But how? And how can I check this for myself?
You recovered from what?
Lycanthropy.
Oh, lycanthropy. Okay. Interesting.
So Valeria, you're spreading this rumor, whether it's true or not, and that rumor makes its way to Lycos the next morning. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. I did not know her name was Wilhelmina.
So you said Hagrid is leaving? Is that
Yes.
what's going on?
Yes.
Okay.
Sad Hagrid.
And as he's leaving, he's going to basically he's like on his way out of the dining of the hall. He stops by and tells you you should come after class. Horace is making a good recovery, and he'll be flying within a couple of days again.
I hope you're feeding him enough. He's got a major appetite for beetles.
Oh yes. I know. I also noticed that he has a taste for scorpions. I tried different things last night, trying to see what he would prefer. But not a lot of people know this about ogres, but they're really fond of scorpions.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He says, "Well, thank you so much. When are you leaving?" He seems kind
couple days. The ministry isn't exactly sure where there are still giants in England, so they need to figure this out before they send me there.
Okay. Well, do let me know, will you?
Of course. And as I said, Horace should be back to Horace could be back to the Aldery in a couple of days, or tonight if you want to pick him up.
Okay. Yeah, he just looks even more worried, but I think that's where we can end that conversation.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, if everyone is okay with it, we could now roll for downtime. Some time passes, some classes happen before Halloween. So we can all roll for this, and everybody who has detention is going to roll with the roll will be made with -2 automatically, but you can uncheck detention after this. And it's going to give me a great opportunity to describe detention with Professor Greenwood. So,
Right.
currently,
Oh boy.
I think the house ranks. It's still we still have to roll within the order of the house rank. So currently, Gryffindors are our second house. So, why don't... Oh, perfect, you rolled a 9. Which means... okay, you choose one. Recover in the infirmary, make friends, study, please the teachers, prepare for the worst, and keep an eye out.
How does prepare for the worst work?
Basically, your character feels like there's trouble brewing. So you are currently, because your character is stressed, it would be fitting. What it means is that you write down at the bottom of your character sheet that you are prepared for the worst. And the next time that you roll 12 or more on one of the core moves, not including downtime, you get the Paragon option, which is described at the bottom of basic moves.
I think that while that would be wise, he's more in the mode of keeping an eye out. So
okay. All right, perfect. So you are going to, as you bring Horus back to in the next couple of days to the Owlery, you are going to find what's his name?
Rhonda?
Rhonda, the present in front of the Owlery, and he is with his augury, and he's got like the
Falconry glove?
Yeah, the leather glove, and basically he is just sending him out into the Forbidden Forest to hunt things, and he until it comes back, and you hear him calling him by his name. She's called Artemis, goddess of the hunt. So that's your clue.
That her name is Artemis?
No, that's that Rhonda. That like you confirm that Rhonda is not an animagus, and that he has, and that this is his augury, and he, and they seem very very much in sync at all times.
Okay. Wyndon, who had been kind of struggling with bringing Horus back to the tower in the first place, is definitely scared at first, but then becomes curious as he sees this behavior, and he approaches tentatively, and he says, "How'd you teach him to do that?"
Oh, well, phoenixes, like a lot of and auguries, are can be taught to hunt and trained. I've always been very close to Artemis, and when I lost my eye in the Battle of Hogwarts, we at St. Mungo's they I used a ritual that I had read about in my school years, and we now share our vision. That's why, which makes it a lot easier to train her. You have an augury yourself. You could you could do the same thing if you wanted, but it hurts a lot, so I wouldn't recommend it.
Yes. Well, sometimes Horus scratches my arm, and that hurts a lot too. Hey, would you say that Artemis is particularly aggressive?
Unfortunately, yes. I mean, I did train her to be this way because I needed I've always planned on becoming an Auror, and I wanted something that would allow me to have the upper hand against wizards. Not a lot of wizards expect someone to have an augury that can attack them like this. But I'm very proud of my work.
So, why did she attack the Seeker and then go attack Horus? I don't understand.
I'm sorry about what she did to Horus. I was distracted by something else while she was doing this, but she only attacked the Seeker because he bumped into her. Really, it's 12-year-olds shouldn't be allowed to be on the team. They don't have enough control yet. As for your attack of as for her attack of Horus, it's quite possible that he got too close to her. I know a lot of other owls did so while I was in Hogwarts, and they soon learned not to.
Bam, mystery solved.
All right. So solving a mystery. When you find the answer to a mystery, you erase it from your sheet. You select a new one from your playbook or from the mysteries in the plot and select one. Okay, so basically the mystery in the plot is, do you have any questions concerning Rondan? What's his name? Concerning either Artemis or what's happening with the plot, and you can ask this question and it becomes your new mystery. So yeah, you can
Okay.
you can also take a lot of interest in a mystery from another player, or or if you don't want to just concentrate on the one that the plot is concentrating on, you can select a new one from your playbook. So you have a lot of options here.
Do you really think that Appleby girl is a dark witch? Her sister seems very nice.
Right. That's what their family names are. Not Appleby. You said you think that Appleby.
Oh, I thought. Okay. Who was that again?
Esther Wright is the Dark Witch, and Moira Wright is her sister.
Right, I'm confusing my Hufflepuff gang.
Too many Hufflepuffs.
So I would be asking that about Myra's sister.
Yeah, do you
Myra
really
herself?
Okay, perfect. On top of this, you solve the mystery, so you either clear a hex, mark experience, gain camaraderie with someone involved in the mystery, or raise your house rank by 1. I'm not sure the last option would fit this scene, but everything else would.
Is that written down somewhere?
Yes.
That was a little fast.
I'm showing you the solving a mystery. I'm clicking on showing to players. You might have reduced it by double clicking it. It's in one of the handouts.
Well, in this context, no one is hearing him say nice things, so probably not gain camaraderie. He's gonna mark experience.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Or do you think it would be appropriate to gain camaraderie with an animal? I always forget that I can do that.
It's up to you. You could that could count a bit like your class move, because you just learned something more about the augury with the ritual to share your vision.
Yeah. I'll represent that with experience. I know more about auguries now, but I didn't really get closer to Horus too much. He's already as close as he's gonna get for this.
Okay. If you have detention, you can check it off. Now, third house is a Hufflepuff, which means both Hufflepuffs get to roll down the downtime move now. Lycos, do you see where it is on your character sheet?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Lycos is doing good. Why did it roll twice for you?
I don't know. Let's assume the 7 is the right.
Yeah.
I might have hit it accidentally
Okay.
twice. So let's take the 7 as the result.
Yeah. All right. Lycos, you rolled 10 or more, so you get to choose 3. You can recover in the infirmary if you have any of the hexes. You can make friends, study, please the teachers, prepare for the worst, or keep an eye out, which would gain you different things in the in terms of like game, and you can choose 3.
Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to study and finish my homework before the full moon. And then I'm going to prepare for the worst, since full moon.
Okay. Yeah.
And other than that, I think I'm going to go talk with my friend, with Allison.
Okay. So you can mark camaraderie with Allison. You can mark experience, and at the bottom of your character sheet, you should write down that you have the Paragon option available once. Okay. Perfect.
All right.
Allison, Lycos, how do you make friends with Allison? Like, are you are you preparing costumes for Halloween together? Or you, like that's what's your bonding time look like? And Allison, you can like pitch in too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Allison, today is the full moon again. I'll be out, and yeah. And you've been sticking close to me despite everything. Thank you.
Allison?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Oh, right. So Allison has been really nice to me, despite knowing that I'm a werewolf, and I really care about her because of that, and spend time with her, and just spending some quality time before going out for the full moon.
Okay. So let's say we help prepare the Halloween decorations at our common room together. We volunteered for the how do you say it, for the decorations committee at our house.
Nice. Okay. Okay.
But it's only Lycos that gains camaraderie at this point, right?
Yes.
Not me.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. What about you?
What about me? I have only one option, yes?
Yes.
So maybe I will work a little bit on our house reputation, because it's high time that we climbed up the ranks again. So maybe I will seek out Professor Sprout, and I'll suck up to her a little bit. I'll tell her how impressed I was with her leadership on that tense night when we all got called out by the Auror, and how in control she seemed, and how it's unfair that House Hufflepuff is being implicated in some shady doings like this, and I'm sure that it will all clear out, and so on and so on.
Okay. I think maybe Professor Sprout uses that opportunity to like recruit you into the decoration committee, and that's like, and it's by doing a great job with the decorations that you end up getting your the house rank moved. So Gryffindors are now to 3rd place and Hufflepuff's 2nd. Nobody's dethroned the Slytherins in 1st place yet, guys. I expected more from you. And
I'm trying.
I could have just done that, but it didn't make sense with the role play. So
I'm right at the bottom.
Just give me time.
All right. And both Ravenclaws, both of you are in 4th place, but you have a -2 because you have detention. So make your rolls and choose your options.
All right.
Is the house rank sheet accurate right now?
It's Slytherin, Hufflepuff, Gryffindor, and Ravenclaw.
Changing my hexes. Sorry.
All right.
Ouch.
It's on my desk.
Actually, wait. That should be +2, so it'd be 7. Or there should be another +2 rather.
Yes.
For me,
Oh, okay. So you choose. You have one option in your downtime, and you clear detention. You're going to do
Yeah.
detention. We have to describe this afterwards. Valeria has 3 options. So let's start with not Wyndon. Rowan.
Rowan.
All right, so Rowan, I think, is going to be kind of sucking up during detention. I'm going to please the teachers.
Okay. All right. We can role play this during the. Yeah, we can role play how the detention goes. Basically, you just dropped Gryffindor to 4th place and got Ravenclaws up to 3rd place.
Yes.
Is that yeah? What about Valeria? You have 3 options.
I'm trying to find where those options are again. I
In
don't.
the basic moves.
Basic moves. Okay.
It's the first. It's so weird because I'm clicking to show it to the players, and it doesn't seem like it's showing it to you. Maybe some of you reduced it by double clicking it. I don't know.
It works for me.
Works for me too.
Links to the moves. Okay. Open it in Google.
Hmm?
Just gonna open it in Google on the Google Docs so that I can see it.
Yeah. On the it's also towards the top of the Google Docs, but okay, yeah. If you're not able
Okay,
to
real time. There we go. So I get to choose 3, correct?
Yes.
I'm going to study.
Okay.
I will study to mark XP. I'm going to keep an eye out, especially since I've had detention with Professor Greenwood. I'm going to be such a good little Ravenclaw and move the house rank.
Okay. All right. So Ravenclaws are now 2nd place.
As we should be.
Okay. Oh,
So competitive.
I feel bad for Wyndon because you were at 2nd place and now you've just been relegated to the bottom.
Right. I'm wondering how this translates into like house points and trying to work that out in my head.
Basically, they like you weren't like it's not that you lost points, but it's that they gained enough to rise above you. It could be like maybe some Gryffindors are doing some Gryffindor stuff that's making them lose points as well. That's also an option, you know?
Makes total sense. We're the troublemakers.
Yes.
Quick question before we move on into the to whatever we're moving on to. Geez, I just lost my question in my brain.
Was it
okay?
about...
Never mind.
Okay. I just wanted to specify one thing for you. The Gryffindors don't give you as like, thanks to Professor Greenwood explaining what the situation is, they don't give you a hard time anymore. Like you're cleared of all charges. In fact, a lot of the older Gryffindors do remember that up to last year, that augury was causing a lot of mayhem.
Okay. I remembered my question, and that is, how do you think I should phrase that mystery? Because the main mystery isn't written down as far as I can find.
Yes, it's not, because I don't tell you what, like, I don't think you, like, if I formulated to you what the mystery for this school year is, it would be spoilery. But basically, you can
Right.
I think you could ask. Does Moira how involved is Moira with Esther or something like this? Or maybe let's see.
How about could Esther really be a dark witch? Is that detailed enough?
Yes, because it's an yes or no question. One you will know when you find the answer, and it's good. Like it ties in pretty well with the big plot. So perfect.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt if you're in the
That's
middle
okay.
of something.
So in detention, what would detention with Professor Greenwood look like? It's going to be in his like either in his office at the back of the classroom or in his classroom. If anybody has suggestions, I'm open to them. I think maybe he could be asking for help on one of his projects.
Okay.
Okay? So here's what happens. He is going to take you to, his not his classroom, but basically like where he works when he's not working in his classroom, and basically the walls are full of papers with red strings connecting everything, and a lot of those papers are articles from the Quibbler, is I think Noonan of Good's father. Yeah. Some of them are by the Daily Prophet, and yeah, basically he has a pile of newspapers from from the Daily Prophet from 1890, and he's going to ask you to get and to help him find any mention of the previous teacher of history of magic, because if he thinks that's around when he was recruited, and he mentions that I'm trying to solve this complex conspiracy where ghosts are influencing all the way we remember history, the history, and in order to make the lessons more enlightening. So, if you could help me find anywhere where his name is mentioned, that would be perfect. Valeria, you got a clue from from your role. So you're going to notice something. There is not the clock like the one that you saw previously for family members on Professor Greenwood's wall, except that there's only an image on one of them. It's Professor Ian's image. The other one has the words "my beloved" written on it, and the third arm has the word "my son." My beloved is at home, no, at work, and my son is at school.
Okay.
And his is also his is technically at work, and sometimes moves back to at school whenever he talks about the conspiracy theory instead of correcting papers.
Being a teacher. Okay.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
that's your clue. But yeah, and okay. Okay, so Lycos, what are you going to be doing on Halloween? I think from what I've read, the what's it called? The Wolfsbane
The
potion
Wolfsbane potion.
only calms down your symptoms and allows you to remain more in control when you're in your wolf form, but it doesn't stop you
It
from...
makes me a bit lucid, but it doesn't stop the transformation.
Yeah. Okay. So you would still be, brought to the Shrieking Shack.
Yes.
on those days. Okay, so you're going to miss Halloween. Are you okay with the fact that you might? I'm gonna try to make sure you don't miss any of the gameplay just because. Just because of that. So I'm gonna change up my plans a little bit. Yes. Okay. So as we're gonna do what the other people are doing for Halloween later, but as you make your way to the Shrieking Shack that night, you like there's a teacher there that like basically explains everything to you. Make sure the doors are closed, enchanted by magic, so that you can't go out, and you're asked not to go upstairs. And when the full moon rises, you feel like, and your transformation begins. You feel this howl coming out from deep inside, and at the same time, you hear another howl of another werewolf coming from the second floor. So we'll get back to what you do when you awake from that a bit later. I think maybe before the evening, there's probably going to be stuff happening in the day. Give me just 1 second. Yeah. Maybe we'll like go back to a scene before this scene. So during the day of Halloween, what are your characters doing? It's a day off. There's like some of you are decorating. But yeah, overall, are you doing anything special?
Do we have like an inter-house competition for who has the best decorated common room?
That would be difficult because you're not supposed to go into each other's common rooms.
Yeah, we're not even allowed to like see each other's common rooms as far
That's
as
so
I know.
sad. I wanted to see Allison's like pretty decorations.
I think the decorations are going to be all over the castle. This is a lot of work. You've got to put the candles inside of the armors and things like this. I have an idea. Lycos, how is the day before one of your first transformations like? How is your character reacting to it, and how may the other players notice stuff going amiss?
What happens is mentally I get more easily irritated. It's noticeable that I'm uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And physically, my senses get a bit sharper, and when I smell something like meat or blood,
Mm-hmm.
I start salivating.
Yeah, there's lots of things are being cooked with pumpkin spice currently in the kitchens. So possibly your during the meals your character is ravenous. Are you anxious? How like are you afraid about because this would be like one of your first transformations?
It would be, at least at Hogwarts, it would be one of my first ones. So obviously I'm a bit unnerved because this is a new place. I've not had a transformation here before, and I'm just trying to keep quiet.
Okay.
Alright, I think it would be the second transformation at least.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So I haven't transformed often, I'm not used to it, and I'm nervous.
Alright. Do any of the other player characters notice this going on and do something about it? And especially Addison, because Addison, you are aware of the Lycos' curse.
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm too focused on myself and my circle of newfound friends at the house. So I don't think I'm really paying much attention to Lycos at this point.
Okay. Yeah. What about the other characters? Do any of you like interact with Lycos during that day? No.
I mean, are we in the common room, or not the common room? Excuse me, in like the Great Hall at all, or?
Yeah, at the very least, you would find each other
At least
at
during
the.
breakfast and lunch, but I wouldn't be there at dinner.
Sorry, I think I cut you off, Dane.
No, it's cool. Go for it.
Okay, no, I was just gonna say I might see Lucas there and like kind of wonder. Right? You seem kind of touchy.
It'll be fine. Just give me a day.
Was it the paper for Greenwood's class? It was probably the paper for Greenwood's class. That paper was impossible.
Yeah. I'm just so done after this one.
Well, hang in there. Well, at least there's the big feast tonight. That's kind of fun, right?
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it. I'm just gonna go to the infirmary.
We'll bring you something. Can we? What's your favorite? We'll totally bring you something.
Don't bother. I don't think I'll be able to get anything done today.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna leave you be. Feel better. And so
Right,
Valeria's
thanks.
gonna head off, kind of like, doesn't like pumpkin pasties.
Does Valeria at any point share that rumor that Lycos is not feeling well or whatever? However she
Definitely.
spends
I'm
it?
like, we totally need to bring him something.
So Wyndon
We
gets
have to.
in his idea that in order to bring him something, we're gonna have to find the kitchens
Yes.
because all the food disappears. So we have to find the kitchens, and we know it's a secret entrance somewhere. So that's our. He tries to recruit Valeria and whoever else is listening to do this good bad deed for Lycos.
Okay.
You had me at secret, so yes.
Would Allison and Rowan take part in this little adventure?
Yeah, I think Rowan would be willing to come.
Okay. And
Hey.
Allison?
Hey, if Valeria says that we're going to do something together, I'm down.
Okay.
We are doing something together, and it's going to be amazing.
Okay.
It's this is perfect because I get the feeling that this is how the Marauders found out that Remus was a werewolf. Was probably like, yeah, we gotta get him something, and then they were like, oh, okay.
What do you mean he's not there? Yeah.
All right. Okay. So how are you going to go about finding the kitchen?
Library.
All right. Roll to hit the
Yeah, for
library.
sure. I mean, we
think
know
I'm.
it's... Oh, go ahead, sorry. Hufflepuff common room, right?
I think it's like an open secret that the kitchen is near the Hufflepuff common room.
I think like the Hufflepuffs might be aware of this, and that's better than it would be better than having to roll hit the library, especially since Wyndon is cursed and cannot ever hit the library.
Well, I could put on a fake mustache. We haven't tried that yet, but
It's Halloween. We need to try it.
So
I was
maybe-
thinking like we could ask an older student.
Exactly.
That was
I can
Wyndon's
ask
tech.
around. I can ask around at Hufflepuff. Maybe some of the other students they should know something about it because the Hufflepuff common room is somewhere close to the kitchens, as I recall, right?
Yes. I just want to remind some of you that you have some moves that can help you find information from rumors. Valeria!
Okay. Okay.
Because like I like the idea of asking other characters in roleplay, but I also want to like use the moves that your characters have and stuff like this.
Okay.
Also,
All right. Sure. Yeah. I'll roll for it.
Can I lend a hand?
yes, and if
I'd like to.
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You can say you lend a hand, and if the roll needs it, then you can roll afterwards if it could like help.
Okay.
So I'd like to find the Hufflepuff prefect. I think that was Shacklebolt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ask her. So let's see if I can rumor mill this up.
Okay.
Modifiers plus wits, which I believe is 2. Submit. All right, I got an 8.
Okay.
Health
So
is not gonna matter.
I don't think I can raise that to the next thing.
No.
you'd need two people to help you to raise it.
So I can help too. I have a connection with Heather Shacklebolt, so it would be logical.
Okay.
Okay. I love how risky this is to just like pipe in.
It's where
So-
everybody is going to get detention again.
No, because you're going to be caught into something interesting, but just not anything dangerous. Yeah, it's no use spending your camaraderie, Allison, because Wyndon failed his roll.
I
Okay.
literally just rolled 2 1s.
Yeah. Whew. Tough.
Okay,
Because you
so
didn't hit the
happens.
library.
ask 2, right?
Yes.
Um,
Wait, no, that's Deceiver. On a 7, yeah, ask twice. Where is blank and what are they up to?
okay, I mean, I don't really know why.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
well,
Mm.
I mean, I'm happy to ask. Where are the kitchens? How can I get in? If
Yeah.
that's acceptable.
Yeah, I think yeah. I'm sorry. Let's do that instead. Yeah, definitely. Instead of yeah, I think I need to like rewrite this one because we've had problems with it every time that we've used it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's rumor mill is really strictly, it seems like, for people.
Yeah.
I guess this could have been a deception roll. Being an opportunity or exploiting something.
Yeah, I think like I think it should like the problem is that it can't be any questions because then the game master because there's like some things that are like harder to some information that are
Yeah.
harder to come across. That's why like I'll have to like work on it between now and the
Okay.
next one. Let me write it down that this one absolutely needs to be reworked.
I also feel like I should add that I think that normally moves are triggered by the role play, and having it be like conditional based on someone else's role is a bit weird. Like if we help out in the role play, I feel like it should have a mechanical effect, like something. Maybe it's something that should be decided before the role or something.
No, I don't think so.
And I've
Because
seen it work both ways.
because the thing is because you have to spend camaraderie to activate it, you should for this move it should be up to the player after the roll, whether or not they lend a hand. That's why.
That makes sense in some ways, but at the same time, I feel like if 2 people were like, "I'm gonna lend a hand," I don't know, and then only one person suffers consequences.
Mhm.
Seems strange roleplay wise, but I guess I'm just thinking about it differently.
Yeah. We we I think I'll see about this, but I'll make a note of this. Okay, so you are able to ask where the Hufflepuff common room is and sorry, where the kitchens are and how to get in. I believe you have to tickle a pear on a painting of
Yeah,
a fruit basket.
there's a picture.
Perfect.
Yeah, there's a picture, a painting with a bowl of fruit, and you have to tickle the pear, and it turns into a hand.
So yeah, you have your solution. Now, there's another thing. How do you? I don't think any of your characters know Lycos well enough to know what Lycos's favorite food is. At least for Halloween.
Nope.
How are you going to find this out?
Oh, I'm totally not. I'm just going to get him what I think is good and like a bunch of different stuff.
I
Like,
was planning on like just shotgunning this thing and grabbing anything I could.
Okay.
All the pumpkin spice.
All the pumpkin spice.
All right.
I mean, we're at the age, I think, where like generally Wyndon would just assume that most people like what he likes.
I must say we got really lucky that the game where we reach Halloween the school year is so near our Halloween, and we're all in the like pumpkin spice mood. Anyways, that's good. I'm not gonna make us wait like a bunch of sessions before I make us play the Christmas one vote. Okay, so yeah, you find yourselves in the kitchen. As soon as you enter the house, elves are immediately asking you how they can help. If any of you are hungry, even though it's way before the feast, they already have like something prepared for potential visitors. Yeah, so I think like all four of you, like all of you except Lycos, are present. What do you do? Oh wait, just one thing. Let me backtrack just a little bit. You wanted to ask. You wanted to ask the. Hold on. Shacklebolt. Heather Shacklebolt. You go to her and you ask her. Where this place is and stuff like this, and she says, "Fine, but you know a lot about rumors. I want to know who started the rumor that I caused the Gryffindors to lose, because the Gryffindors are not happy with me for some reason, and I still have to, get them to listen to me as a prefect."
Oh wow. To be honest, for once, I did not hear that rumor at all. I don't know what to say. I'm so sorry. I mean, that has to be really awful for you. You must be super frustrated.
I am. Okay, well, it's a shame you didn't hear it. Anyways, it's in this corridor over there, and you have to tickle the pear on this painting to get in there.
Yes, Heather, I'll keep listening for you, and if I hear anything, you'll be the first one to know.
Thank you. It's good to be able to count on you. But as Valeria turns around, like the other people who are with Valeria can see that Heather just like squints at Valeria.
I think I need to expose myself to danger, entanglement, or cost during this. So maybe I like squeak at an inopportune time. Like maybe I know something that I am a little too obvious about knowing. And
Okay.
I squeak when she asks a question, but don't say anything.
All right. So this is just like in one of those Telltale games where Heather will remember this is popping up at the like edge of your screen right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And Alison is so frozen at this moment because she's torn between her loyalty to the Hufflepuff house and her loyalty to Valeria, that she doesn't dare speak at all.
Yeah.
Valeria just keeps on stretching and stretching.
Yeah.
The other houses have it easy. The Gryffindors, it's simple to do courage. You see the danger, you head towards it. For Hufflepuff, it's so complicated to have to choose whose loyalty you value more.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyways,
Wyndon likes to head away from danger, but that might change.
yeah, but it's about what you value as well. Since if you value courage, you're a good Gryffindor. Even if you're not courageous, you could value courage like Peter Pettigrew did. Okay, you get a bunch of foods, and you like us. Where would you be? Like sometime before okay. Wyndon, would you bring the food after the feast, before the feast to Lycos?
I think that I don't know. That's kind of like a timing issue with everybody else, I think, because if left to his own devices, he'd probably be like taking too long and then have to be torn between the two. And so he would like stuff his face at the tables and then like run to get to Lycos.
Then in this case, I believe you would not find Lycos present inside of inside of the infirmary. Actually, no. I think rather than this, Madame Pomfrey tells you that he's like not well enough to see anyone, so you can leave the food, and she will give it to him instead. It's a bit
All
less
right.
conspicuous.
You looked so.
I think
You looked well today.
A little on edge though.
Not like super sick. Wow.
So Wyndon kind of like goes to hand her the food that he's got in his hands, probably on like a platter, and like he like trips over his shoelace a little bit because they're untied again, and a bunch of food just like flies out of all of his pockets as he trips and like goes all over the area.
Okay. So yeah, Madame Pomfrey is going to ask all of you some help cleaning this up.
Yeah, Wyndon kind of gets down on the floor and like starts picking it up, but is also eating some of it as he.
The infirmary floor. That's gross.
It's sterilized like all the time. I'm sure.
It's not.
Right.
It doesn't taste half bad. He like dusts off one of the little cakes.
Okay.
Wyndon, there's plenty of food in the Great Hall. You don't have to eat off the floor, really.
I know this is not in my playbook yet, but there's that nice Vane playbook move which is like I refuse to do things that are beneath me, and she's looking a little squicked out about cleaning up the infirmary floor.
Yeah, you mark experience when you refuse to do something that is beneath you. I remember this one.
Wyndon just kind of looks at her and is like, and the rest of them is like, it's okay, I got it. You go enjoy the.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. Okay, thanks, bye. And she just like runs out of the infirmary.
He just looks surprised, like he didn't expect them.
No, Alice. I think Alison's staying and helping you clean up the floor, but she doesn't eat anything, and she strongly discourages you from doing it. But she's staying to help.
All right, he still kind of like licks a couple things, but he's not eating them anymore.
She looks away, a little bit disgusted.
I think Valeria, as you're running out of the infirmary, you see Moira is with her pockets stuffed with what seemed to be the same kind of food that Wyndon got. And she's heading out of the hall and not towards the Hufflepuff house.
Which way is she headed?
She's headed towards the West Wing. In the general direction of the West Wing, which, completely crumbled and is still under repairs at the moment.
Oh, well, that sounds like trouble, and that sounds like something I'm interested in, so I definitely try to follow her.
Okay. All right. I'm going to have to ask you to roll to perceive something you're not supposed to.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, very good. So, on a 10 plus, you get all 3. You don't get into trouble, so your house rank doesn't drop.
Wait, did that include the
yes, you got a minus 2.
That included the penalty. Good. Okay.
You don't get into trouble. The clue you obtain is solid, clear, and true, and the source of the information doesn't get any information on you. Valeria,
Yes.
as you follow Moira all the way to the ruins of the West, you find her making her way to what seems to be okay, so the West Wing is like completely crumbled in the middle, and she makes her way to the abandoned parts on the other side of the crumbled wall, and you start to hear her talking with someone else, someone who sounds older, and someone who has a more feminine voice, who starts to tell her who tells her not to come here. She's not supposed to be here. It's dangerous, and to stay away. What do you do?
I want to hide and continue to listen.
Okay. You hear Moira saying, but I wanted to spend some time with you. And the other person just rebuffs her and tells her tells her, thank you for your effort and thank you for this, but please go. We can't. And Moira leaves. She runs past where you're hiding. What do you do afterwards?
I go follow Moira.
Okay.
I went to catch up with her.
All right. You find Moira on. Yeah. You find Moira to the side, and she is. I think. Oh, that one of you mentioned a classroom that was good to be isolated, to where an abandoned classroom where the Ravenclaw classroom where everybody goes to study in peace and quiet.
Yes.
That's where she's at right now.
I follow her in. So, how long have you been bringing food to your sister?
She she completely stops what she was doing. You can see that she was sobbing, and she tells you, I don't see what you're talking about, but she's drawing her wand at the same time.
I look at her like, don't be stupid.
She points it at you and she says, you can't tell anyone. You're not supposed to know.
What am I gonna tell?
Okay.
She's the shittiest person ever.
Oh my god, Valeria is the worst.
You should get transferred to Slytherin.
Yeah.
Midterm.
Yeah.
The hat was wrong.
First time the hat admits it makes a mistake.
Yes.
It's like, whoops.
I don't even think like we've gotten that into like how Ravenclaw-y she is, or is that what you chose?
Yeah, no, she's a Ravenclaw.
Yeah. Yeah. A retcon might not be totally out of the question of discussion.
Ravenclaws can be socially aware, and I think that what she's after is more like sort of curiosity than anything else, which can be a Ravenclaw thing. But
Yeah.
she's very Slytherin in the way of going about it.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I can some playbooks are like aimed towards some houses more. Like it's I think the Quidditch player is the only one that is like neutral for every house. But basically, like I try to make it so that you can be in a certain house and it doesn't exactly match with your playbook and some themes. And the Vayne is definitely more of a Slytherin type of character. But I think it's really but I think that like Victoria is like playing it really well. The meeting place between both of these things, I think. Anyways,
All right, so she's got her wand out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to move from a wand or just say, like, look, don't do anything stupid. I'm not going to tell anyone. I didn't snitch on you when they asked, when they brought an Auror in to interview us.
had you told this to her previously?
No, I don't think she would have talked about it.
Okay. Would Alison and Wendon or Rowan have mentioned this to Moira yet, or not? It's better for the
No.
plot if like you meant to, but you didn't, and it's more dramatic of a reveal now.
No, I have not.
I think Alison should have mentioned it to her. Maybe she would have.
Okay.
Because she felt like, yeah, she stood up for her at the meeting, and she felt she should tell her about it and alert her to the situation.
So Moira says, please, it's important. You can't tell anyone because she's innocent. She's been framed by the Ministry of Magic for crimes she did not commit. She did not reveal to any muggles about the magic, and certainly did not commit any murder. I know her, and I know she's been. I know she's a Hufflepuff at heart, and she's not a dark witch.
I believe you. I'm not going to snitch on you. Like I didn't do that. Wouldn't do that. But maybe we can work together to help clear your sister's name. I mean, I know Allison is in your corner. Everybody is.
Yes, I can't say this. There's some things I can't say because if I start saying them, then I can't. But what I can tell you is I need to get inside of the headmistress's office at any cost.
So maybe you could talk to your sister and see if she would be able to tell us more. I mean, we'd all like to help you, but we can't help you if we don't know what we're doing.
My sister can't tell me either. But and I don't know why she.
Would your sister meet with us?
No. This can't happen.
Well, I don't think I could get into the headmistress's office alone. So the others are going to have to know about this. I'm not going to tell the Auror or anything.
Well, I don't think you could, even if you wanted to.
Interesting.
The Fidelius charm is it's such a weird part of the Harry Potter universe, and I really don't see why it's not used more often. Because if Voldemort was so good at magic, why didn't he just Fidelius the fact that he had Horcruxes? Like it's as simple as this. Forget all of those people who are like, let's have a Horcrux pebble that you throw into the sea, or put it on a satellite that goes into space. How about just use the Fidelius charm to hide the fact that you have those?
The satellite is awesome.
But who do you entrust its secrets to?
Does it affect people that already know it?
Yes, it affects people that already know it, and they can't act upon it as well as they to a certain amount, but it doesn't exactly make them forget absolutely either, because Dumbledore still sent Hagrid to the Potter's houses to fetch Harry after Voldemort died, despite the fact that nobody had told either of these people where they were, as far as I know.
The part that confuses me is that what's the name of the rat animagus?
Peter Pettigrew.
Pettigrew.
Yeah, he was the Potter's Fidelius secret keeper,
Yes.
right? So he somehow managed to betray them with that.
It was voluntary.
Yes, he was the only person who could give the secret, and he gave it to Voldemort.
That's the one problem. You have to trust the person you're giving the secret to not betray you. And Voldemort doesn't trust anyone.
Yeah, but here's the thing: Voldemort could make himself the secret keeper, and it would, and the secret could only ever be known by anybody else if he died. And if the secret is he has Horcruxes, the secret can't ever be revealed unless he says it by mistake.
I'm not positive
Even if there's the thing that you can't make yourself, I think the more likely thing would be that he turns his snake Nagini into the secret.
Oh yeah, because she technically counts as a person now that J.K. Rowling made her into like an Asian woman, which is not cool, by the way. Anyways, all right.
It is very British, though.
Right, back on track.
Okay.
I mean, I would like to inform the others. Is that something that she'll let me do?
You physically can't. She's the secret keeper.
Okay, so I would like to let the others know that we have to get into the headmistress's office.
Can we ask them to do this without explaining why? Can we give them another reason?
Yeah, we just lie about it. He says completely nonchalantly.
If I may suggest, you know that about half of us are Hufflepuffs, right?
She knows, and she just forgets all the time, or doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Good reason, because your housemates get really weirded out every time I suggest lying about something. So if you need to get into the headmistress's office, you need to think of something that's going to be like noble and kind-hearted. I mean, I would just say I wanted in because I wanted to see it, but nice.
I don't even know what's in there that could cause the interest, but we could make something up. We could say that there's I don't know, a house elf captive there who's been treated horribly by headmasters forever. But no, McGonagall is nice.
McGonagall's too nice.
Yeah, I can't.
Oh, okay. Maybe McGonagall confiscated somebody's like something from home. Oh, who's blooded? Other than
It's I could say that maybe one of the something that my sister once gave me is is part of the investigation, and it's for some reason kept in.
I don't think it should be connected to you or your sister, because then it's going to be too problematic. So I would say I can spread a rumor that some of Rowan's mail has been confiscated, and for clearly no reason. I mean, it's okay to be sending Muggle-born stuff here, so we should totally get it.
Yes, and since he has been watched over by the Auror, that would be a good. Oh, thank you, Valeria. I've been having so much trouble with this, but thanks to you, I can.
Oh God, Valeria is a series of bad choices. Yes. I'm so happy that I could help.
Basically, every Harry Potter book, a series of bad choices.
Yeah, that's
I've
true.
done my share.
All right. Would you be okay with us stopping here for today? Just trying to talk a little bit about, what this game. I'm especially interested in Nikolai's point of view, because I'm sorry I haven't been able to because I have so many plot threads going on at the same time. I haven't been able to introduce you in enough of them, and I'm sorry about this. Yeah, I want to we usually do a bit of feedback so that I can improve the game at the end of each session before the end of the 4 hours. So, yeah, what did you think about this game, Nikolai?
I enjoyed it immensely, especially now that the fact that with the Halloween transformation, that everyone is getting together, and I'm just enjoying just the general crazy stuff that happens because not every character knows everything.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and it's certainly been a success for me, and I think I've got my first clue for my mystery as well. James, a bit of another werewolf is at Hogwarts.
Yes. That there's somebody else who's a werewolf. You just don't know who it is for certain, but that is certainly a big clue for your mystery. Okay, cool. Anybody else have anything else to say? I just want to specify one thing. I do have game mechanics planned for the Quidditch games, but those mechanics only happen if one of the players is a Quidditch player. I haven't updated the Google Docs at all, but I finished writing the Quidditch player. So yeah, the reason, I just randomly chose that Gryffindor would lose because I needed a way to introduce Artemis. Oh, I just realized Artemis is one of the only characters who could marry into the Appleby family.
Why not?
I can see some problems with that. Yeah, I really liked this session. I think I'm coming around on how the game works and starting to figure out what you're going for, and things have been running smoother since I've started to kind of get an idea.
Okay, cool.
I think we all got a lot more comfortable with the mechanics, so it was a little easier to sort of push on story and to sort of challenge what we wanted to do. Because usually the first couple sessions you're still learning the rules and everything like that. So I feel like at this point we've got it down a little more.
I'm pretty glad that you've started consistently breaking the rules as well, because I feel like it's a move that needs to be used, every now and then, and it gives me a lot of opportunities to bring in new stuff. Like the timing for you to practice Quidditch was perfect with your parents arriving, So yeah, it's good.
I had one idea, and that's since we're taking some inspiration from Masks and New Generation for this game, end of session could be a fun thing to do. Did you grow closer to someone? Did you grow into your own image of yourself? That kind of stuff could be interesting as a way to generate camaraderie or decide if you've grown up a little. Just thoughts.
agree. I really like that mechanic for masks, especially for like younger people playing like 11-year-olds right now. And like if we continue playing, you're playing up through 17, and like you're super impressionable. So I can see that happening at the end of session, or even maybe at the end of year if it's not something you want to do all the time.
That's a good idea as well. Basically, the reason I said end of session was because it's kind of cool to like talk about how your character has grown or changed or bonded or whatever at the end of each.
Okay, nice. I've been looking for an end of session move. I have a move that at the beginning of each session, which I've never triggered because it's about the house, the NPC house gaining ranks. And Slytherins have always been on top since we've started this game so far, so I haven't had to do anything basically. But yeah, thanks for saying that. Like, it's an interesting because I think that character growth is also important in this universe as much as it is in Masks, and I feel like I also feel like that I want to have more moves that allow people to gain camaraderie. So definitely at the end of each game session, something that gives you like more camaraderie with others and experience could be good. So I'll write something like this for the next game.
Besides,
thank you.
And
no, go on.
And something I've noticed is that with the moves, there's only one move that scales with loyalty. It seems like that at least.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple of other moves to gain camaraderie. It's just that like a lot of them are.
I mean, there appears to be only one move that scales with loyalty.
Only one move to what now?
Where you get a bonus from loyalty.
Oh no, it's both. It's a lend a hand and receive unexpected help. Both of them are based on loyalty. Did I forget to edit this?
No, you got it.
Oh no, yeah, I've just overlooked it. Okay, never mind.
I had a similar insight when I first started.
Yeah, because I had forgotten to write that it was roll plus loyalty. But yeah.
Yep.
I'm getting a lot of problems with the lend a hand move because I made it a roll because I wanted it to be a loyalty based roll because I wanted there to be two moves based on loyalty. So
I feel like if you're spending camaraderie, I really like the negative possibilities, but I'm feeling like that move is kind of weak. It's like a big risk and you lose camaraderie. I don't know.
Maybe if you get a high enough roll that you don't lose camaraderie.
Oh, that would be cool. Like if you get like a full success, you don't lose the camaraderie you would have spent.
I think that's what the no, that's not what that's not what the 12 plus is doing. The Paragon move on 12 plus an ally you didn't know you had comes to your help alongside the one you were spending camaraderie for. You mark camaraderie with this new ally, and the 10 plus for receive unexpected help, clears a hex, subtle clue, plus 1 ongoing, and not getting hurt. Okay.
Right. So there's no 10 plus on lend a hand though, so maybe that could be a good time.
Oh, sure. On a 10, yeah, but there is on a 7 or 9 you get a small penalty, but I haven't been applying it that much. So yeah, maybe on a 10 plus you don't lose, you don't spend camaraderie. You regain the camaraderie. Okay.
Oh, maybe I read that wrong then. On a 7 through 9, you expose yourself to danger, entanglement, or cost. That doesn't happen if you fail?
It's
Or does that also happen if you fail?
that does happen if you fail, but if you fail on top of this, you're not giving a +1 to someone.
Got it. So I didn't mess up earlier. That was the way that was supposed to go.
Yeah, on a 10+, regain the spent camaraderie.
Cool.
I think that's a good modification based on yeah. Maybe I should. You know what? I'll remove the 7 or 9 entanglement cost and everything, because I haven't because you only play that move to give yourself a to give a bonus to like you've been using it to try to get someone who was like close to a 10 to a 10, but not necessarily to like to get them over a 6. Yeah. Okay, cool. Anything else that we any other opinions about today's game or the game in general?
Just that everyone's characters are awesome, and I had a lot of fun, and you did great GMing.
That was a blast.
Thank you.
Yep.
I have a tons of fun preparing this game and playing it with y'all because like I think we're all like really playing really well into the Harry Potter universe, which we all know and like. So it's like a nice experience, and I think and yeah, we're only Halloween, and it might feel like you're close to solving the whole mystery, but it's going to be really hard to get into the headmistress's office, and even once you do, it might not be the end of the mystery. So I'll see you all next time for the months leading up to Christmas, and I wish you all a very good week.
Hi everyone, and thank you for watching this video. If you want to keep up with all of the adventures on this channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so you can get a notification each time we upload the next episode of this story. And it would be very nice of you to like and share the video to help this channel grow. Have a nice day everyone.